Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean
What
Bell,
up?
Matt Murray.
Hello.
Look, guess what?
You'll never guess.
You'll never guess what. James Farley's not here. And I'll tell you why. After saying it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine, he logs on today with one of the worst cameras I've ever seen in my life. A computer that was making so much noise that it would make it impossible to edit his audio. And for some reason, it kept like the mic kept turning itself up. So we just told him, it's as though you're trying to make it as bad as possible so that you don't have to be here. I mean, part of me is angry because yet again he's not on the show, and he probably won't be on the show next week.
Mm.
But part of me's loving it because the drama is going to be unreal when he gets back. Ooh, mama!
Well, I mean, when he gets back, I mean that we unconfirmed data at this point, so could be.
You're going to explain your voice because that's pretty.
Oh, is it croaky? So yeah, England won a football game yesterday,
Did
and I may have screamed a bit.
Yeah, it was exciting, wasn't it? Despite our shit with been, we actually won a game of football. Quite like
Yeah,
that.
it was a great 4 minutes where we scored 2 goals.
And then fucked off again. But that's it for the football. We don't want to go into that. That's not what you're here for. You're here for the Patreon producers this month. They are the Full Nels crew, and oh my word, we thank them so much. If it wasn't for them, we would not be able to do this podcast. I do not say that lightly. Mainly because we wouldn't have the motivation.
Yeah, I mean, James still isn't able to do the podcast, even with them. So.
Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown. James does apologise to all these people, by the way, for not showing up again. Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer. What I like is that he, although we could, if we weren't doing this live and we didn't have the Twitch stream stuff, the Twitch streamers wouldn't have known how bad it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, but now we've got witnesses that we didn't no.
It was slightly cruel of me to just go live immediately so everyone could see how bad it was.
It wasn't cruel. Nah. It was premeditated. We know that. We spoke about it earlier. Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Tom S, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Tri-State, and Oods. What a crew they are. They're the Full Nels crew, and we thank them from the bottom of our hearts. They went to patreon.com/TCGS. That was disgusting.
Sorry, I thought I'd muted.
You can't blame that on the weekend footage.
No, sorry, I thought I was muted. Unbelievable.
We've referenced it too as well, which means you can't edit it out now, Sean, unfortunately.
I mean, you can.
Take this whole bit out.
Definitely got to, if anything, turn it up.
I just want to say sorry.
Thank you so much for supporting us at patreon.com/TCGS. This week we did our talks over of Cheggers Checks It Out, the found footage that someone from Ocean Studios filmed. Well, because I didn't quite understand what it was, but I mean, what we got, I was not disappointed. Part of me worries that I'm the only person on the face of the planet that is obsessed with this sort of shit.
Well, no, because I was, as you know, I was worried that it was going to be like 45 minutes and nothing, and the occasional event. I was really surprised how quickly it went, and I was genuinely a bit sad when it was over.
It flew by, didn't it?
I wanted way more. The bits where it was just Cheggers asking the questions without the interviewer there, so they could get the shot. So so what's your name? And how much do you earn? Do your friends think you're a millionaire? I was just like, yeah. And then when he turns around and he's like, there's a bit where the guy who's filming it from inside Ocean Studios is interviewing him and goes, so what's the show there? Oh, it's called Cheggers Checks It Out. We've got some great guest lines up. We've got Maggie Thatcher. Zem's like, oh, especially watching it this week. Patreon.com/TCGS. If you're a regular listener to the podcast, if you're a regular viewer on Twitch right now, just if you're after video game chat, just take a week off. I haven't got anything to talk about video game wise what I've been playing. James isn't here, which means we're going to be silly, isn't it? because we haven't got that sort of looming gloom of I want it to end over the podcast.
Get a move on.
You know, we're probably gonna piss about for a bit. So if you're not into that, just fair warning. Fuck off now and come back next week when we might be a little bit more serious. But
if you're not into tangents, this maybe isn't the episode for you.
Yeah, well, if you maybe ain't a podcast for you, we don't need you. We got tons of listeners these days. We got loads of them.
The thing is, there's loads of games podcasts now.
Yeah, there are.
So, you know, if you just want to hear chat about video games, go and listen to one of the boring ones.
Yeah, go and listen to one of the other ones. Like, trying to think of the other big.
Yeah, what are they?
I can't think really... of any.
No, I'm sure there are some out there though.
Yeah, go on, Google it. Should we get some feedback from last week's show, Matt?
Yes, we're going to start with Colin. I've just seen the popular with listeners of TCGS list on Spotify, and it is wild. Now, I assume these are all podcast names. All Hope is Found, Godmothers, Why You Need One and How to Be One,
Okay.
Breaking Free of Body Shame, Diva 2.0, 12 live lessons from me for you. Your purpose is calling you. Your difference is your destiny.
That's not a long-running podcast, is it? That's not a long-running podcast idea.
It's not. Your purpose is calling you, and your difference is your destiny. Unraveled, a love letter to those finding their way. Finding their way. Basically, wall-to-wall self-help and motivational audio books seemingly targeted at newly divorced women. It's really cool to know TCGS has such a diverse and surprising audience pool. Keep it going, lads. You're obviously doing something right.
That is strange.
It's our audience, man. It's what we attract.
Other game stuff, but I guess the Spotify AI DJ has got other designs. All right, Sean, it's your boy X. You've been listening to the computer game show, so now we're going to listen to All Hope is Found.
I love that shit when he just goes, right now we're going to listen to some calm down music. What does that mean, DJ X? What does that mean? It's time to calm down with some calm down music. Like what?
Are they not allowed to say chill out? Why calm down music? Like, what's that about?
I think I made that one up.
Okay.
Got caught in the lie there. I don't know. I think that's possible. I think we can maybe our listeners, our demographic is actually surprising. I mean, you wouldn't have been able to tell from the past two TCGS cons, which I think I described once as the worst game of Guess Who you could ever have. Has he got a beard? No.
Yeah.
Is he a white guy? No. But maybe it's surprising. Maybe the newly divorced women are lurking in the shadows and just digging our content. That's a possibility. So don't judge them, Colin. And
also, like, why are these newly divorced women? Like, these could be for anyone. Self-help is not just for those on that end of the spectrum. I think actually, I'm tempted.
This breaking free of body shame business sounds good. I can get in on that.
Yeah, I've never quite cracked that.
No.
Well, maybe listen to this podcast.
Yeah, maybe it will help. Next bit of feedback.
Garrison Savannah, thanks to Sean for speaking about the alters last week. Our time I missed this at Jeff Keighley's DoorDash show or whatever it was shown, and I loved the demo. Looking forward to it, and it's apparently coming to Game Pass, which is a nice bonus. Also, an observation for Sean, maybe everyone in Blade and Sorcery is trying to kill him because he now has a reputation and are justifiably acting to try and keep their precious eyeballs intact. Show is banging as always, you guys are awesome, and hopefully James has managed to make it tonight. Nope.
Yeah, the Blade and Sorcery thing. I went on the Blade and Sorcery Reddit, which, as you can probably imagine, is full of really lovely people,
really sound people that care about humanity.
Yeah. And there's a thread which is just like, "What's your favorite combat style?"
Eyes, eye stabber.
Yeah, the amount of people that were just like bare hands. Well, this one guy was like 2 knives, blades down.
Wow.
It's like an Alan Partridge phone. I mean, when I was listening back to what you said about Blade and Sorcery, and then when I watched a bit of the stream, all I thought was apart from that, all I thought was if if Ready Player One was a real thing, Sean would be one of those over-leveled twats that just completely ruin the game, right?
Yeah.
Oh look, we're just
Yeah.
having good fun. Oh no, look who's flying up in the air and killing everyone.
Yeah,
with his
griefing
weight.
everyone on the
It's
server.
level 450 Sean Bell.
Yeah.
Hey guys, come with me. I'll show you where all the good loot is. Oh, fuck off. I'll take my headset off and just go and walk around the fucking slums or wherever we're living at the time. I don't know. Crate, storage crate. Next bit of feedback.
Samus McSporran. Is that what I said? Seamus McSporran.
I mean, I don't
Just
think
a
it's
bit-
a real name, but you know.
No, just a bit of feedback on last week's show. I have to get this off my chest. I love the show, I really do, but your Doom Eternal takes are some of the worst I've ever heard. Anyway, I guess it'd be boring if
Ow.
you all agreed on everything. That is
Yeah.
all. Keep up the great work, guys. Cheers.
That is the nicest way of saying that you're fucking idiots, isn't it? That was
It
quite a
is.
nice way of saying I think you're idiots.
I
Also,
feel like I need to play it properly because I only played a bit of Doom Eternal, and now I'm like, what if I'm the last roll of the dice for that game on this show?
yeah.
Yeah.
What if I
point.
really like it? But then I'll just have
when
to
do we
argue with the
set-
rest of you, so that's not going to be fun.
when do we play our trump card? AKA Sean Bell plays Doom Eternal for 5 minutes and goes, actually, no, I see what they mean. Look, I didn't like it, and I'm not going to lie to you because Seamus McSporran's had a pop. Seamus McSporran's had a pop of me there. I'm not going to hurt that, but there is no way that's the worst take we've ever had, is it?
No,
We've
way
had
worse.
worse
than
Maybe
that.
takes
some
than
stiffer
that.
competition for that.
Yeah, no, we've had some really shit takes, mate. So not liking Doom Eternal, I think, is
Yeah, I mean, none of us were fully in love with Tears of the Kingdom. Sure,
Yeah,
that's
that's
going to be
true.
worse.
I was.
Oh, Sean
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah. Oh, the depth.
Okay, one of
Now,
us.
what about the fucking game where there was a devil and that? What was that? Where you rewound and all the devil's there? What was that? And then you go, it can't just
I
be
mean,
that.
could be
Immortality.
loads of games.
Immortality.
Immortality, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so people were angry about that.
Yeah, in terms of
Our
because like Doom
reviews
Eternal
of
is
that.
divisive, whereas
Yes.
pretty much everyone fucking loved
Immortality
Immortality. We
Was
didn't.
loved by Edge magazine. Next bit of feedback, please.
Pagan Brian has messaged. James, what's the point? He's not even here, but this says, James, shit as you please on other people, but not on Doom Eternal's immaculate combat system, which demands that its players chain together moves, like your beloved Bayonetta.
Is
James.
Bayonetta beloved by James? I thought that was.
Yeah, no,
she was-
James.
she was
James
my-
loves.
Okay.
No. I think you're both fans.
Yeah, you're a fan in a different
for
way.
Bayonetta
Hands
here.
off, James. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if I'd known James wasn't going to be here, I'd have saved these bits of feedback. There's another one for him in a second.
Yeah, but we could have guessed.
It's
Yeah, the
fine,
next
we'll
bit.
answer for him.
Yeah.
Look, the original Doom. Right, here's my thing. The original, not the original Doom, but the
2016.
the 2016. That had that chaining moves together to get through the level, and it worked really well. It's when they started adding more weapons, then modifiers to each weapon, and it was just like, I can't be fucking bothered. So stick that up your pipe.
I actually think the new one looks quite cool. I kind of like the whole medieval angle they're going with it.
Yeah,
Medieval.
It's gone medieval, isn't it?
bit medieval.
Medieval. Oh yeah, it just sounds weird. Medieval. Isn't it medieval?
Well, should it be medieval or yeah? What is the?
What's the thing, Sean?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
certainly if you look at
that's-
how it's written, it's medieval.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably is
I
that
always
way.
thought it was medieval. Not
Yeah, it
medieval.
probably is. I don't know why I said
Yeah,
that.
well,
Hands off medieval.
well, you
It's probably like
bash yourself
it's probably
there.
like a time I said decals.
Oh yeah,
That's
decals
worse.
instead of
That's
decals.
definitely
That
worse.
was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. Look, I just I didn't like the game, so shove it. Next.
Up your bum. Phil, this is another one to James. James, there are 228 PSVR 2 games on the. No, you're right. There's nothing to play. I mean,
Well,
there is a lot.
Phil-
There's a
is
lot
Phil
of
the one that
games on
keeps-
that headset.
Is Phil the one that keeps messaging in every time he slags off the PSVR 2?
Yes.
Is it the same? I'd love to know what James's response to that is.
Yeah, they're all rubbish, aren't they? Oh, he's already played them, or they're Quest ports.
Yeah, well, you say they're all
Count.
Quest ports, and even though there are no, Quest ports, they're kind of drying up on
But
headset.
even as a fan of PSVR 2, you must look at the future of that and go, oh no, Sony are moving on. You must
Yeah.
look at that and go, right, okay, you're saying there are 228 games out for the PSVR 2, but you've got to understand that Sony do not look at it as a successful platform, and just play the ones on the PC then. Like that's what they've done, but give us £65 to do it. It's worrying times for PSVR 2 owners, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, yeah, nothing. There's nothing really to suggest that there's big things coming. So, but
right, that sounded like you were trying to tease something.
No,
sounded like you knew something you tried to tease.
That's
I obviously know nothing.
Sever an entire section of his brain off. As a professional necessity, isn't it?
Do you know how bad I am? I almost said it's a really troubling time to be a PSVR 2 owner, and it's an even more troubling time to be in a VR development company. It was a joke, right? It was a joke. It was a joke. But then Matt was like, "Yes, like I don't know. Maybe there is something coming. I don't know. Whatever you said."
I didn't say that.
Well, so you did. You did.
Literally didn't say that.
Should we move on?
Go on,
Yeah, push button Joe. Dear TCGS,
Matt, is anything cool coming for the PSVR 2? Look at his face, look.
Push button Joe.
Cam, look at his little face, look at those muscles.
Yes, I know nothing here. Push button Joe. Dear TCGS Retro Gaming Monsters, read Perfect Dark in a Turk chat. Along with the Xbox version of Perfect Dark, you'll be delighted to know there are remastered versions of Turok 1 through 3 available on all consoles, including the Switch, which include modern controller options. Turok 1 is actually a lot of fun when you can move properly. You can shoot dinosaurs and aliens and people with a bow and arrow. What a thrill. Why Nintendo felt the need to make a sloppy N64 port for Switch, I couldn't say. Anyway, much love. Push button Joe.
That makes the whole thing even weirder.
The problem is they just sort of farted it out using presumably the standard emulator for the other N64 stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't always do that with emulators. No. That's not always how it works.
That game just did not work. I mean, it is mad. Well, like, I think there's part of me that just goes, isn't there someone in Nintendo going, can we just make it work a little bit? If we made it work a little bit, then... That's good, isn't it?
Just it? It's clearly one of those things where there's just no resource has been committed to actually making these games work. There's a resource for putting a ROM on the server and going, there you go. Have that.
Some of them fucking work. Like, I mean, I played Wave Race on that, and I was like, holy shit, this is just so good. Like, I'm so nostalgic for that period of gaming, but it has not. It's fundamentally not aged well. In the same way, not in the same way, but as much as, say, Amiga games, going back to those, a lot of those are just dreadful. And I would argue Nintendo, NES games, I would argue some of them are alright to play, but the majority of them. But then you go back to
Metroid, fuck that.
Game Boy Advance, SNES games, you're like, this is absolutely fine.
Matt, you played Super Metroid.
Oh, what was that on? Was that on SNES? Was it? Okay.
It was on the SNES.
There was no excuse then. No excuse.
The N64 has not aged well, but there are ways to present it. I mean, I loved playing GoldenEye last year when it came out on Xbox, and when it came out at the same time on the Switch, and it was unplayable dross. It was like, what is the point?
But in Switch had the online, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
I guess they're just so committed to like having it be a faithful recreation or faithful version of the old game, rather than making.
Not even that though, are they? Apparently, like
they're not.
People saying they're not even good emulations of the original games.
Well, I can't comment on that because I won't be able to tell the difference. Like, I flat out won't be able to tell the difference. But what I can say is that I can play the Xbox One, and I can't play the. But it's very realistic, isn't it? It's very, it's in keeping to what that system was like. I know, well, cool. I can't play it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
What is the point? I'm with you, push button.
Well, what I find quite interesting is a lot of people said, are we really going to want to go back to, say, like PS1 and Saturn games when developers at that time are still learning about 3D cameras, and there's so many like bad games with bad cameras. But then in recent weeks and months, we've seen things like Crow Country and other games which are basically trying to ape those early PS1 and I guess you can say Saturn like 3D style games, but with improved controls. So I don't think we'll get really anything like that. I thought that'd be an area like retro gaming that wasn't really going to be served because of how badly some of these games performed camera wise and other bits. But it's really fun actually to see that these games are being made with those sensibilities, but with all the improvements we're going to get.
Yeah, totally.
That's it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co.
Feedback.
Yeah,
Just
you'll be
no,
right, man.
no feedback.
Genuinely a bit concerned your voice is going to be gone by the end of this.
Well, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? That'd be fun. Anyway, that is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/dear-tcgs. Yeah, I think it's that bad, is it?
It's pretty bad. Your voice is pretty bad. Right, should we get to the news then?
Yeah.
Yeah, so James isn't here. I've been dropped in it, but I'm assuming all the news is going to be really light-hearted.
Yeah, I think so.
Dr. Disrespect, a.k.a. Guy, is it Beam? I assume it's Beam.
Yeah, I think so.
Doesn't matter. I don't think we're
Guy
going to say his
Beam.
name for much longer after
another
this.
Single syllable name to call him, to be honest with you, but go on.
So, as we probably all remember, so back in 2020, he was mysteriously dropped from Twitch after having signed some mad contract for millions and millions of dollars, and he was off Twitch. There was no sort of public sort of acknowledgement of it in any way, other than he was gone from Twitch, and that was that. I believe the only comment he made was that, quote, "No wrongdoing was acknowledged." Obviously, they wouldn't have done that with no reason whatsoever. But no one knew what it was. It wasn't
wasn't
public.
it?
It was always strange, yeah.
He was live streaming when that news came through to him.
Yes.
And you saw him clearly look at his phone and have a meltdown and say, "We're going to get through this," and then he went away.
Yeah. So there's another clip of was another one of those now.
Because it happened again.
Because it's happened again. So basically, it came out. People were just sort of started tweeting about it more openly. That basically, the reason he was dropped from Twitch back in 2020 was because there was. I can't remember if it was like a genuine allegation. Or sorry, no, it's a genuine allegation. I don't know if there was an allegation or if evidence had surfaced. But basically, he had been sending or exchanging inappropriate messages with a minor. Leading up to TwitchCon, and so basically he was dropped from game developer Midnight Society, which he co-founded, and also now all his YouTube content. Obviously, he moved to YouTube after getting binned from Twitch, and now all that stuff's been demonetized as well. And again, so we got another stream where he clearly saw that he was streaming Elden Ring, and he clearly saw that this had come out. And you just see him he just sort of completely freezes up, and then starts talking about how actually he's been planning a holiday anyway because he's really burnt out at the moment, and it's so fucking awkward to watch.
We've spoken about the Dr. Disrespect on the show before, right? I don't think anyone gets it. Like before this come out, you watch a bit of his content. Sometimes you watch stuff like Ninja or other big streamers, and you go, I kind of get why people are watching this. I kind of see the appeal. Dr. Disrespect, and I'm not just saying this now that all this has come out, because obviously you could go back and listen to what I've said about him before. Never got it. Never got the idea. Never got the fit. I don't understand why anyone would watch someone dressed like a fucking idiot and not even be funny. There's no comedy there. It's just shit. And then everyone knew something was going on. I think what is a bit shit is that it's taken this long to come out, because it is a genuinely, like, it's a real serious thing what he did. It's not like he will try and downplay it as much as he can to people.
And he has done.
And he has done. And we'll get to that. But he will try everything he can to try and downplay it. But what he has done is just fundamentally fucked, right? And there's literally no excuse for it. There's literally no excuse. It's absolutely fucked. And to know that it's been this long for it to come out kind of makes me feel a bit weird. Like, there are people that knew about it and it was not reported on. And he's carried on streaming and gathering an audience, and he was able to even capitalize on, hey, Twitch were, Twitch are the enemy now. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely,
able to retain an audience, and that is fucked up.
Yeah, it was always weird that we never got a reason for it. It's like, if it's serious enough that he got banned, why was it never kind of talked about? And clearly NDAs or whatever were signed.
I would hope that anyone who could have spoken out about this and didn't presumably was like legally bound not to. But then obviously that's weird in and of itself. I can only assume that like technically no crime was committed, right? And I'm doing big air quotes technically.
Well, we don't know what the messages were they?
Exactly.
Like we don't know that. But the fact, like, who are you whispering on Twitch anyway? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, it's no fucking excuse for it. It's absolutely appalling.
So if it really wasn't for this Cody Connors, who was this former Twitch employee, like none of this would have blown up and come out in the way it has. So I'm thinking, like, was it like a 2-year NDA? And he was like, I'm going to start talking about it. I mean, he didn't actually explicitly name him in the tweet, but everyone's clearly putting 2 and 2 together, and then that kind of it all kind of kicked off last week.
Then he come out with a statement, right?
And then eventually after being like dropped from his after disrespect got dropped from his studio, and everyone's basically talking about the fact it's clearly disrespect, and other people would try and do investigations and reporting and get more information and get some proof on Cody Connors' tweet. Then Dr. Disrespect put out a statement.
Yeah, a statement which begins with, "Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now." It's like,
this is what fucking right. Okay,
Yeah.
this is
Oh, it's
like
insane,
if you're
isn't
a Doctor Disrespect fan and you're listening to us, right, and you might be getting angry at us dissing someone that you've liked. We're not having a go at you, right? We're not having a go at you, but you read that first sentence. That's what he thinks of you. He thinks you're thick as shit. And that he can just go, hey, let's just cut the shit and get real. And, I won't keep anything from you. Well, you have for 2 years. You have for 2 years. And this shit is not something to fuck around with. He thinks you're a piece of shit. And he doesn't he thinks that you'll just go along. I'd be amazed if there's a lot of crossover between our listeners and his viewers. Don't get me wrong, but
it's 4 years. It happened. It's 2020. It happened. It's like,
oh shit, 4 years.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Okay.
It's so weird. Like I was saying in our WhatsApp group, like if you watch the video of him realizing this has all come out and he's streaming at the time, he can't help himself from like saying his lines. Like he's still doing the like, oh champs, we've been in this together from the start. We've always been in this together. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? These are people who watch your videos on the internet. That it's like he's encouraging that weird sort of parasocial relationship stuff. It's so fucking weird.
Do you know what? It's manipulation. Yeah. It's manipulation. It's the manipulation that's used by people that groom people online. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's manipulation techniques, and that's exactly what he's doing. Hey, I'll always be up front with you. You know me. We've been in this together. You don't know him. You don't know him. Like, that's what people have to get into their heads, Yeah. And as I said, like, I mean, look, if you think we're in the wrong here for saying this stuff, and you still think, then that's your decision. I'd be amazed if a lot of our listeners were following his content or whatever. But like, I hope that you identify the techniques that he's using on you here, because that's what this is. That's it's part of the reason why it's a character. It's part of the reason, so he can say things and act in ways and say, well, no, I'm playing a character. It's all of that shit. It's
this
bollocks,
is it.
man.
And I was saying the other day, and I'm not saying he did it on purpose for this reason, but because he wears the stupid glasses and the hair and the moustache, he can just take them off and reinvent himself. Do you know what I mean? He's got no problem being out in public because he can just he can just shed it, and then that's it. It's like the Dr. Disrespect is gone, and he can be someone else.
Yeah, I mean, I saw, like, obviously I was following this over the course of the week, and you saw loads of people saying, look, like, where's the actual proof? Where's the proof? Like, his supporters were saying that, where's the proof? Where's the proof? And then, like, in his statement, which has the line, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. So he's admitting it in his statement, and people are still like, well, was he coerced into this? Like, fucking hell, like, the person
you coerced by a minor, that's not,
he has done wrong. He's admitted it. It's in the statement, and still people are like, well, but where's the actual proof? Like, fucking hell. So, but regardless, it seems like it's going to go away for a long time, but these people will never go away fully, and he will come back at some point, and he'll have all his followers, back there with him. That's just unfortunately the way things work.
It'll be like you see it from a lot of
cancelled comedians who have like massive
cancel
tours.
comedian, right-wing politicians that are like, no, they're trying. It's the establishment trying to pull me down.
Yeah.
No, it ain't. No, it's not. No, it's not. You done something absolutely horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's it. At the end of the day, yeah, that's my view on it. Anyway, I'm sure we'll get a lot of feedback over that. So I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. Should we move on?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Meta are withdrawing support for the Meta Quest 1 headset, which it basically includes like security updates. So I know we knew obviously games for a while now have been moving away from the Quest 1, and then there was the statement a while back, wasn't there? They're going to like the chat functionality is not going to work forever, and a few other things. So there are going to be no sort of future bug fixes or security updates for the Meta
It was coming,
Quest
right?
1. I mean,
Yeah, I thought we were already there with that. I was surprised to see that we weren't.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's obviously it's a shame because potentially now if someone does discover like a security vulnerability with the device, there's no protection against that now. So if you own a Quest 1,
yeah, I still think there might. I think if there was something and it got pretty widespread, I think they probably would drop a patch to try and do something.
It is corporate responsibility, right? Because it's also access into your account and everything. So, it's pretty shitty if they're just completely stopping any security support for it, which is what they're saying they're doing. But you have to ask yourself. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of that. Like, there's responsibility there. And you may say, "Oh yeah, but no one uses the Quest 1 anymore." I booted mine up last week, and does it mean that I need to completely wipe it so that I'm avoiding any sort of issues or what? What's the deal? Like, I don't know. It's probably fine if you've got it turned off. Yeah, because there's no way of actually fucking hacking into it if it's just turned off and in a drawer for the rest of.
Then, as you say, it's when it's a device that's accessing their servers, surely it's still in their best interest to
you'd think
keep it watertight. But
you'd think this whole MetaQuest thing has been handled poorly, I think, in the evolution of that headset, because I was thinking the other day there's like a cheap there's a rumored cheaper headset. Is it rumored or is it confirmed that they're working on a cheaper headset to the Quest 3?
It's just rumored.
Technically still rumored, but like there's
been enough leaks. Yeah,
there's been a lot of reports, right? And one of the rumors was that it won't use it won't come with controllers. That's one of the cost saving method. It won't come with controllers. Is one of the reports that I
think
saw.
Pretty sure that's been poo-pooed now, hasn't it? But it was.
Oh, is it? Right. Well, that's good then, because there was part of me that I was like, oh, maybe I can use my Quest 1 controllers on it, but I didn't realise that you can't even use your Quest 1 controllers on a Quest 2.
I can't remember if there's good reasons for that or not.
I don't think there can be, can there?
Well, it must be a technology thing, and because I know you can use like Quest 2.
Technology thing. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I assume that's it.
It's a technology thing. It's I wish the evolution was a lot clearer. Like, I wish if you'd bought the Quest 3 and the Quest 4 was coming out, that you could buy the cheaper version without the controllers because you've already got a couple of controllers. It's
it's weird because the current rumor about the 3S or whatever it is, 3 Lite, is that it uses Quest 2 style controllers.
Right.
Because like one of the big innovations with the Quest 3 controllers, it doesn't have those like sensor rings on them.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I don't really care.
Yeah, I've never even noticed when I'm using it. Yeah,
because my fingers aren't touching them. But yeah,
I just kind of think that when you've got like a niche audience already, and the people that are buying these headsets are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, try and make them as accessible as humanly possible. I think it launched as one company launched it, another one bought it out. So there are some problems there in the evolution process, not been as clear and thought out as it could have been. And even if it had, if someone's acquired them, it makes a difference.
It's weird because in some ways they've been open to making sure that like as a platform it's relatively accessible. The fact that like SideQuest exists, right, which is this store where you can sideload stuff. Like Meta / Oculus / Facebook have always known about it, and I believe have like actively worked alongside the people behind SideQuest, which is why, and now we have the App Lab as well, which sort of serves a similar purpose. So if say that this was Nintendo, SideQuest would never exist, right? That would get shut down fucking immediately. So there's that side of things, but then there was the Facebook account, linking stuff, and now this feels a bit backwards in comparison. But
the Facebook link and stuff, at least they enabled us to have Meta accounts in order to avoid having a Facebook account. So they were trying to learn from the community.
It's the
And
same thing though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it means people don't need to have like fake Facebook
right.
accounts, which are getting closed down and they're losing their games and sales. So they were trying to do something there. I mean, I think they are getting better. Quest 1 came along and, I don't know, but it seems like they are getting better with like 2 to 3 and 3 to, this rumored headset. So I don't know. At some point, like technology is going to move on, and you have to kind of unsupport or no longer support the old devices. I mean, Apple does it with iPhones. I'm sure Samsung does it with their devices and Google Pixels, etc. It does have to happen at some point, but Chris wants another one now.
Moving on. Game Pass Ultimate. You can now do it on your Amazon Fire TV devices, guys. You all got one of those?
Yeah. This is big. I mean, I have actually.
It is quite big, to be fair. It's frustrating because I've got an Amazon Fire 4K stick, and I was like, I could use this, and I was like, well, I've got 2 screens basically in the house, and both of them, like one's got a PC in it and one's got an Xbox, so I don't really need it.
Buy another screen, then, Sean.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy another telly and put it. Where would I put it? Bedroom, I suppose.
Maybe. But no. So this, this is what we were expecting for a long time, and this is another way for them, Microsoft, to get Game Pass into more homes without needing for a console or PC. The fact you can play it via Fire TV Stick 4K and Fire TV Stick 4K Max. This is big.
I've been thinking about this.
Oh, go on.
Can you play? Do you drive? Can you play Fortnite on Ultimate Cloud Stream or whatever they call it?
I assume so, yeah. Oh,
can you stream Fortnite?
I've never tried.
Because if you can, this means people are saying yes in the chat. This means instead of me going out and getting a Series S for Harry, all he plays is Fortnite. So getting an Amazon Fire 4K stick and
a controller
that on it.
Yeah. Done.
I know you said so they're saying it's free, you don't need an Xbox at all. No, I understand that. What I mean is that, he plays all the Xbox. Look, the thing is, he uses the Xbox party chats and he uses the Xbox interface to talk to all his friends. So if it does that, plus the cloud gaming, and all I need is a Fire Stick rather than buying a Series S, which is 4 times the price, maybe 5 times the price. Like, that's a no-brainer, right? I'll just get that for their bedroom rather than a Series S.
Yeah, so Fortnite is available on Xbox Cloud Gaming, yeah.
So that's, brilliant then for us. I mean, you need a good connection anyway to use it, so... Yeah,
that's
think
true. Because
this might be a viable
part of me
option.
thinks but what are you going to do when you're offline? So when you're offline, you're not playing Fortnite anyway. So
exactly.
Ben in the chat is asking what controllers work with it. So apparently it doesn't. So they haven't said there isn't like a list of what does or doesn't work, but they have said it doesn't have to be an official Xbox controller. Apparently, a DualSense or a DualShock 4 will also work. I don't know if that goes for like 8-bit DOE controllers, which I'm a fan of. Or others, but it's
maybe if they're Microsoft certified, they would be, but it's not clear from this. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing that we thought they would do. Like when there's a rumored device a couple of years ago which Phil had on the back of his shelf, Keystone, which people assume would be a stick, and they said they couldn't go down quick, cheap enough. A stick with a controller, a Game Pass Ultimate subscription. That's what we thought they would do to get into as many homes as possible. And now they're like, well, let's just piggyback off, the success. I don't know how many Fire TV sticks have been sold, but I'm going to assume a decent amount. It's a good way for them to test how viable it is.
They sell well. I think. The only problem is that it's the 4K one only, right? So that's a bit of a disappointment because the kids do not have one of those. So
I'd like to
buy
know
a new one.
why there's that restriction.
I'm assuming there's more processing.
I was going to say I think it
power
probably is just a processing thing because obviously it's definitely not like if you've ever played Xbox Cloud stuff, it's definitely not a 4K video feed. But I assume it's a processing thing. So
so you might actually genuinely use it then, David.
Yeah, like seriously. I mean, we're moving at the moment, but when we do move, we will be absolutely brassic for a while. And the kids have been asking for a console in their room, and we can't really afford it once we move. So I think it might
genuinely,
be a case
Dave, my Amazon stick's sat in a drawer, so you're welcome to it.
What, a 4K one?
Yeah.
Oh, I might hit you up.
I moved over to fucking Google TV, didn't I? And sort of regretted
did you?
Spent
really?
There,
okay. I'm gonna get a message from you about a month later saying, "Can you send that back?" Actually, yeah, but it's like I know money's gonna be tight for us this year, so anything like this is a massive plus. Like it really is, and presumably Fortnite is not. I'd love to know the technology behind it. Presumably, Fortnite is not using your internet to connect to the Fortnite servers, right?
Yeah, no, it'll be using whatever the system's on.
Talking to. And you're just getting the feed. So even then, it'll probably end up being better to do it that way than it would. Holy shit! Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. This is good. It's good news for me, old Davey T. Imagine people listening to this going, "Why is he just talking about himself in this situation?" Why is he not considering like the widespread advantages of
running his own tech support with himself?
I've just listened to 5 minutes of a man going, "Well, this works for me." This is like his PS Portal review all over again.
Listen to a man just ask questions and then answer him himself, and then.
What do you find interesting about this? I think this is absolutely the way to go. But this to me seems more like a benefit for someone like David or us who already have the subscription.
Stop talking about me, right? Stop talking about me now, please, because we got to stop. That is mental, isn't it? It's really hit me how selfish I've been throughout this bit.
Okay, yes, but this feels more like something for people who already are in Game Pass Ultimate. I think this doesn't quite feel like the mainstream play of, hey, we're sending a stick, we've got a subscription, we've got a controller pack or whatever it is. Like this feels like a benefit for people like us who already have it and maybe want to play on another screen. But I wonder how easy this is really going to be to like package up as like for someone new to Xbox and doesn't want a console but likes the idea of all this.
So if you've got a 4K stick, a Fire 4K stick, and you don't really play games at the moment, how does it? Yeah, how do you sell this to someone like that? Because for starters, it's like, well, I mean, I guess the subscription stuff is not a million miles off because you're like, well, for someone who's used to paying for Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever, okay, it's another subscription service, but this time it's games. But then the controller is a big ask, right?
And they're not cheap. Yeah. I mean, like, aren't they like 50? I mean, I bought the controller for a while, but they're like £60 on their own, aren't they?
I think you can get them for as low as like 40ish, right?
Okay.
Oh, no, I've seen them on sale for 30, 35. They're relatively cheap.
Okay.
But we've got fucking tons of them in this.
But but again, like people like you,
we've ended up with like fucking 50 of them.
This isn't about you, David.
Talking about real.
Sorry, I've done it again.
You've done it again. Yeah, but you're right, Sean. Because this isn't packaged up. So, I kind of fancy games. Okay, I've got a stick. Where do I get? And like, yes, the apps are available on the sticks, but like, you've still got to like buy the pad, work out the sub. It just doesn't really feel like a mainstream thing yet. But maybe they're just testing it, and this will then ultimately move towards a packaged up little thing like we thought they would do originally.
Can you connect more than one controller to it?
Is this because you want to know or everyone else?
Yeah, because Charlie and Harry like playing games. No, is that not? Have I done it again?
I don't know. Yeah, it's not clear. It's not clear. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Bluetooth, right? And the bandwidth for a game controller, I don't think is huge. So I imagine you could connect more than one controller, but I don't know.
Good. All right. Well, I'll let the boys know in the morning. Any other questions? I'm trying to think if I've got any other queries about this.
Just Shields in the chat says Xbox Cloud Gaming doesn't support 2 controllers. Sadly.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, well then, what's the point then? What is
if it's not working for David and his family, then forget it, Xbox.
Now, shit.
Thank you. I hope they're listening to this.
Moving on. Forza Horizon 4 is going to be delisted from digital stores in December.
Sure, but what does that mean to me?
Yeah.
Now, let's explore
Dave,
that.
What it means to you is
situation.
you own the DLC, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, well, you'll be all right. Basically, anyone who's A, on Game Pass, and B, owns any of the DLC for Forza Horizon 4 is going to get a cheeky code for a free copy forever.
A cheeky code?
A cheeky code. I mean, I'm not saying that makes it fine that they're doing this. And I understand this will, this will be due to licensing stuff that I'm guessing will be largely out of their hands. But still kind of shit. I've seen another game.
Yeah.
I mean, this already happened to Forza Horizon
Didn't they do this
3.
before with Forza Horizon 3?
Yeah, back in 2020. That was delisted. So yeah, there is a precedent for this, but it still stings a bit. But then it's one of those series, isn't it, where it's like, well, I've got the new one.
Yeah, that's
great,
the problem.
so
I think I
I'll just
preferred
keep
I preferred 3 to 4, but then I still played 4 because it had better graphics. So yeah, there'll be a 5. It just means there's a 5 coming, doesn't it? A 6 coming. There's a 6 coming, isn't there? That's probably.
Don't know
what
who's
it means.
making it though, because half of Playground left, didn't they?
Yeah.
And also they're making Fable, so I don't know.
That's
Maybe
right.
they'll-
Yeah.
What is it? The people that made Halo Infinite? They're jumping on this.
Sitting around twiddling
We
their
watched-
thumbs on the other day.
Yeah, we watched the first trailer and it's like, what the fuck have they done?
It's all warthogs.
Why is the mountain popping up in the background?
Craig's the DJ. Yeah, so they haven't actually said, but we're assuming licensing for tracks, right?
It's
That's the
either going
reason.
to be music or cars, possibly. Who knows? Because obviously, there's all licenses for them as well. It must be a fucking nightmare.
It must be.
Like, imagine being one of the licensing people on a racing game, and you have one of the least fun jobs, but none of it works without you.
No,
Do you know what I mean? You can't make the game otherwise.
without you,
Remember
games
back
get
in the
delisted.
day- Remember back in the day where it used to be a nightmare to get like officially licensed cars in games, and apparently the real sticking point was that car manufacturers didn't want to see their cars getting damaged.
Smashed up. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
So it was like there was games where it's like, oh, it's got officially licensed vehicles, and everyone's like, well, you won't be able to damage them, then will you? They'll just be pristine
you
throughout.
can do a flip and it's perfect condition still.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It seems like a weird thing to get hung up on. But then
Yeah, well, that was before they really understood video games and what the
I was going to say, I
potential
wonder if
was
that's like
for...
a weird sort of carryover from like how they used to license for films. Maybe that was a thing. It's like, well, you can have our car in your film, but you're not fucking smashing it up.
Yeah, you've got to show that this car does not bend or break ever.
Yeah.
Which, if anything, it's actually unrealistic. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy a Ford Mondeo because, according to
False
racing game,
advertising. Yeah, it's actually made of diamonds.
it never breaks. Cannot be broken.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think that was probably that was a crossover of generations of CEOs, right? That's probably what that was.
Possibly,
Yeah, people didn't. They wanted to watch in the video. What? Didn't quite understand what was going on. Yeah, I could do with new Forza anyway. I'm never going to play Forza. Although
I would like a new
Harry
one.
still plays Forza Horizon 2 every now and then, so maybe he'll be
2?
pissed off. But
2?
four.
dear.
Well,
he's going to be good, isn't he?
yeah. Again, bringing it back to my family. Have I been
Yeah,
doing
I
this forever? Or
Yeah, you have,
Is it
yeah.
just a shame?
Yeah,
okay.
Sean and I
I
live.
never played the first 2. I mean, I barely played 3. I tried to go back to it a few years ago because I was like, oh my god, I've got the new Xbox. I can just play all the Forzas. And sort of tried to revisit because I think when I got 3, my PC was shit, and I tried to play it on PC, and it was a bad time. Going back to it after 4 and 5 is difficult. For one thing, you can crash into all the ghost cars that are driving around. They're not ghosts; they're real. You
wow.
Crash into them constantly. It's really annoying.
Oh, right.
Little things like that.
Yeah, I loved 5, but I just kind of got to the end of the campaign and didn't really go back to it. And I think I played a lot more 4 than I did 5.
The season
even-
stuff in 4. I mean, and it's in 5, but obviously with 4 being set in the UK, it's like every season is visibly so different. Which not so much the case with 5, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, and if anything, like, what could a 6 even bring to the series? I mean, I'm sure it'll be bigger, better, and all that, but it looks gorgeous. It's great fun to play. I would kind of like them to I don't know, rip it up and start again. Like,
Nah.
4 was great.
Why would
5,
you want that?
because I know, because
It's
although I
fucking
like,
amazing. Why would you want that?
It's great fun to play, but I just want, I don't know, just want more because
Rip it up
I
and
played
start again.
I played 5, I enjoyed 5, and then kind of didn't think about 5 after that. Whereas I remember enjoying and experimenting and playing 4 a lot more. So I don't know, I don't want
Do you
another
want them
festival.
to rip it up and start it
I don't
again?
want, hey, welcome to Forzathon Festival again. I was like, can we? I don't know. I like it. I like to mix it up. Like they keep the same amazing models.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're saying stuff now that you think that you should be saying, and not what you really.
No,
think.
I'm saying like 5 was fun, but not much more. I would want. Okay, what can I do for 6 then, David?
Just release the same fucking game in a new location with cool races, man. That's all I want. Rip it up and start again. It's the best racing game of all time, Matt.
Well, let's not that.
So what do you want? Right, you've asked me the question. What do you want?
I think they should. I think smaller environment, and but more varied. I think smaller because it was good for 5, but it's just kind of. I feel like I've done it before, and yeah, I want something new.
I just know your thoughts by messaging into the show.
So you know, so a lot of the staff left Playground and they formed Maverick Games.
They did.
I just looked them up because I was double checking. So they announced they are doing like an open. I think they said like a story-based open world driving game, which is cool. Looking forward to whatever that.
They got a good podcast, although it's very irregular. But they give you little updates on their podcast if you want to check out Maverick Games. Yeah.
Maverick Games on Google have a rating of 3.3 stars because one person who appears to have used several accounts because they both have the same name on them but different pictures. Someone called Finley Pritchard has given them 1 star.
That's out of order.
No review, just 1 star, and Ben Clayton as well, who has also given them a 1 star.
And they're all Full Nels members, so
yeah, I'm sure it doesn't matter. XR Games, where I work, got a 1-star review on Google, and the comment was something along the lines of, really disappointed because I thought I could go in there and see what's happening. Like they thought it would be like you can go in and have a look.
It's like a public face.
Yeah.
Sort of,
Well, I thought it was like a museum. I know they would be all working in.
I understand, but also, if someone come up to your studio and said, "I want to see what's going on," wouldn't you just go, "Yeah, come on, let's go and have a little look"? Wouldn't you?
No. No.
Why not?
Because that's insane.
It's NDA'd. To hell. We don't even let work experience happen at our studio.
I was
it sounds like you wear that as a badge of pride, Matt.
Well,
have a word with yourself.
I was at motorway services once, and I noticed on Google Maps that someone had given like the cash machine in it had a rating of like 1 star.
Oh God!
And I thought that was funny, so I sent it to some of my friends, and Cammy then found it and left it a review for 5 stars, saying it was the best cash machine ever used, and it gave him a free tenner just for no reason.
I like when you do schools as well. It's all just people slagging off the teachers there, but no, God, that's great.
I'll take previous job. We found out someone we worked with. Obviously, I'm not going to name now. Had an account on Google, and they would just review all the HMs in the local area.
Oh,
and we found out that was quite a day. It's like this is a good one, great access, park nearby. This one never works. That one's always broken. Great lighting at this one, that kind of shit. Unbelievable.
Now, final news story for this week is that Don't Nod have got this game coming out called Lost Records: Bloom and Rage, and it's clearly a Life is Strange game, but they don't have the license anymore because it stayed with Square Enix. So they're delaying Lost Records: Bloom and Rage to early 2025 because they're worried about it clashing with the new Life is Strange. Which is fair enough. I don't think you need to get out of an entire quarter to avoid it. I think maybe they're just delaying this for their own reasons, which is fair enough.
Yeah, did they? I'm assuming they didn't say we're delaying this because we don't want to clash with.
1 second. Yeah, so we've made the decision to move the release dates of Lost Records: Bloom and Rage to early 2025. We know you're all excited for both Lost Records and the new Life is Strange game, and we wanted to ensure both have adequate space to shine.
Right, okay, right. Reading between the lines, they're running late and they wanted a decent excuse to, hey, We love you guys. So, what happens if the new Life is Strange is delayed to like early 2025? That's what I'd do if I was working on that.
Yeah.
Delayed.
But I mean, I think it makes sense. So we had the other day, like, didn't the other game delay itself because it was going to clash with another, like, it was a Metroidvania, and they're like, look, everyone's playing this now, so we'll delay our game because what's the point?
It was Rogue Prince of Persia was supposed to come out of early access, and it was like the same week as
Hades
week
2.
after Hades 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what is the point?
And you know, this is
another
obviously,
few
you know,
weeks.
new studio. You know, it'd be very easy to say, you know, compare this with the other Life is Strange game. I can see where let's not even let's not even put ourselves in the same conversation. Let's wait, get it out, and then we can do our
Right.
thing, whether it's good or bad.
Okay,
Won't it
but
be
they're
good?
you know people that
Go on.
play Life is Strange games are definitely going to play Lost Records. Like that is not it's not a either or. What else?
Yeah,
have they
yeah,
got?
but obviously the conversation
These
swelled
two
up by
games,
the
that's
new
it.
Life is Strange game.
What conversations?
Well, the people online. I think this makes total
Online,
sense.
Dave.
This makes total sense. That's what I would do. If another game's come out exactly like yours, get out of the way.
But
Wouldn't it be
doesn't that
nice
cost them like a
as-
year and a half of like half a year worth of development?
Yeah, but I mean, that they may have already had the finances for development. But yeah, obviously they'd have to pay the people for another few months. But rather that than get swelled up by the other Life is Strange like game, and you can come out later and
as
own it a bit more.
fans of Life is Strange,
Mm-hmm.
won't it be really good if this and the new Life is Strange are both really good? And now because
I reckon
Yes.
they will be.
and
What about
because of
that?
the original developers splitting with Square Enix, we now just get two series of basically the same thing.
I love
I
that.
don't want to bet because I don't think Metacritic is the correct
Tattoo
way
Metacritic.
to Metacritic is just yeah, I don't think it's the correct way of judging. But I think the new Life is Strange game is going to be better than the Don't Nod game.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yep.
Let's hope so.
Interesting.
I want to do a spoiler cast. I want it to have.
I
want to relive the old days.
Asking, are we going to do spoiler casts for these? I don't see why not. I'm pretty sure they're
Yeah,
both
definitely.
releasing as full games, right? There's no episode.
Yeah, I get why they want it, but it kind of takes the edge off it. I like the whole episodic, and we can
Yeah,
play
but
it,
they won't
record.
do that
was
ever
fun
again.
for us, but yeah.
They won't do that ever again. They won't do
What-
that ever again.
Well, they might. Why wouldn't they?
I reckon it cost them more, and they don't see the return, and
I
they
think,
see
I
the
think
tail off.
the novelty around episodic stuff wore off a long time ago.
Which is
sadly.
so weird because I think if I think about TV, like, and there's been discussion recently on social media about the Bear releasing all the episodes and other series that like have like part 1 and part 2's out 3 months later to keep the conversation going. And I feel like TV's learning and changing as a result and trying to work out what's the best tactic. And I can see games doing a similar thing, especially a narrative game like this. I personally think it would make sense to have the game built. Obviously, it's not about releasing episodically and making changes based on feedback. It's like have it all done and then release it every month. It's like first day of the month or every 2 weeks, whatever it is. Conversation happens. Spoiler casts, other things, podcast talk about it. 2 weeks, conversation dies down, out again, out again, out again. It's like it's about
presumably
the cadence
they've
of this
done
content.
Yeah, presumably they've looked at the stats of the previous episodic games that they've produced and
Yeah.
I was going to say because
doesn't
Life
matter.
is Strange 2 was a bit of a disaster, but then that's because the episodes were about fucking 2 or 3 months apart, weren't they?
Yeah, it's
it
about
was
regular
quite far apart,
cadence
yeah.
and
Yeah. But then
I think it could
something
work,
I've said before, Hitman, when that was rebooted and that was initially
Mm.
episodic, they apparently sold more copies like pre-orders, like sight unseen. People just bought the whole season than because and then they thought, oh, this would be amazing because we've sold this many. And then when episode 1 goes out and people can play it, be like, holy shit, I'm gonna buy the rest. But actually, relatively few people did.
Well, that'd be interesting. If the only option is to buy the game fully,
Mhm.
right? So you buy the game fully, but the initial release they release it an episode once a week.
Mm.
Is that best of both worlds, or do you feel cheated as a consumer because you've paid for a full game and you're not getting it day one?
I think as long as you know what the deal is.
Yeah, for this kind of game, I think you'd understand. I mean, I think it would be maybe more sense to have a longer gap because I think personally you would want to spread out the conversation around the game over a longer period rather than
Well, this is
one and
right,
done.
like the Hitman stuff is certainly as a a pleb looking in from the outside, I thought it really worked for Hitman because it felt like it's like every month it was like, holy shit, we're going to Italy, like and they say everyone was talking about it and finding discovering stuff because with a game like Hitman, every level deserves that time to breathe and for people to really dig through it and find everything. Felt like it worked, but as I say, apparently numbers-wise...
Well, you're looking at it from two different perspectives. The way Matt's talking about it is looking at it from a dev point of view and a marketing point of view, which makes sense. But as a consumer's point of view, like, what would you prefer? And I think I would prefer the episodic gaming thing, but I don't like the idea of paying for it every time an episode comes out. Like, I like the idea of paying like 30 quid and then you get a new episode for every week or every 2 weeks for the next, however many weeks. As a consumer, I like that idea. And it also gives you the option of holding off and then, waiting until the last one comes out and then playing it all the way through. I think that's the solution. But
yeah, I think that'd be good. I mean, when we're playing Walking Dead, I always just bought the whole season and waited. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to have the option, I guess, for some people who want to test out and buy one for, I don't know, whatever it is, 3 quid,
no,
5
that's
quid.
not what I'm saying.
But I think your idea is better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It minimises the fact that someone might play one episode and drop off. Like, they've got the whole series and they'll see it to its end if they are interested.
Yeah.
Speaking of don't nod, I keep forgetting they put another game out this year. And it's meant to be good.
What was it?
Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. It looks
great.
Title. And the reviews were all, it was like solid 8s from what I could see. And it's like, basically, you play as this...
Oh, that's right. I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, basically this man and wife who their job is to go around like sending spirits off to the afterlife. And then his wife gets killed, but she's still around as a spirit. And it's basically about the husband being like, I know I have to send you off, that's our job, but also don't want you to go. And apparently the story's amazing. Like, it looks really good, and it just I don't know if it came out at a weird time or what, but it just disappeared.
I forgot this. Maybe I need to play this then.
I've just found the IGN review, and it's like, it's a good game, but it's let down by poor enemy variety and wonky controls, apparently. But 7 out of 10, it might be good fun.
Yeah, I didn't really
don't nod magic
down as a combat-heavy studio.
No.
I mean, maybe that's unfair, but still got a 7 in IGN. Not that actually means anything. I don't really trust their opinion, but
well, it's okay for you, David. They own every other gaming outlet on the planet now, so
he's the only one left. So,
don't fucking own us, boy.
No, dear baby. Although they were not being responding to my emails.
Come on, England.
Get on, England.
Next.
That's it for the news.
Don't think it is it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, fuck. Sorry, this was meant to be James's bit, wasn't it?
I know. He really has let us all down tonight.
Just going to briefly mention that the Sausage Factory. Well, it's part of the Kane and Rince sort of stable, but don't hold that against him. It's Chris O'Regan's show where he's been basically every episode he interviews a different developer. It's hitting 500 episodes and then he's done. He's had enough.
He's going out on the top, isn't he?
Retiring.
500. That's
no, I think he's carrying on podcasting for Kane and Rince, isn't he?
Yes.
I think it was nice to include this because Chris O'Regan's been I don't. Maybe some of you don't know him, maybe some of you do, but Chris O'Regan has always been about in the video game podcasting scene and a regular attendee to expos. He's been to pretty much every EGX, every Res. He goes abroad and goes to the Comic Cons and maybe he doesn't go to Comic Cons. I know he goes to PAX.
PAX and stuff,
and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I get that wrong. He worked at Spong with us at the same time. And, Sausage Factory was picked up by Spong when we were picked up by Spong.
He's been on some Joypods. He's been on.
He has been on Joypods. Has he been on TCGS?
He must have been on a TCGS from EGX one year.
He hosted James Farley to play Juiced for the first time.
Yeah.
Chris, listen, I know you listen to the pods, so I just want to say well done on your efforts. 500 episodes is fucking insane. And to give it up now, just thanks for putting all your entertainment out there. So it's a long-term good friend of the show. So we want to give a big shout out to the Sausage Factory for calling it the day after 500. Holy shit, that is a lot of episodes of a podcast.
And especially for like an interview-led show where it's like every episode is a different guest. That must take
that is a lot of work.
Organising.
And also anxiety.
Yeah.
Have you ever interviewed? You've interviewed people for places that you've written
for IGN
for.
who can't be trusted.
Yeah, that's right. I've interviewed people for podcasts and stuff, and just the whole, oh god, I feel sick, and the first 5 minutes of trying to build up some sort of rapport is just hell, isn't it?
Yeah, because like we're so
cool.
Sexy.
Fit.
We're so weird about guests, right? Like we
hate them. Oh no, we like them now.
Quite
we like them
carefully, and I think that shows.
Damn straight.
But yeah, it's that. Yeah, but that having that sense of whether or not you're going to get on with them. Whereas if once you're into the world of like, well, I'm just going to interview game developers, and I'm going to do it 500 times. Obviously, there's no way to guarantee you're going to have that rapport with them. So yeah, that's a whole other skill set, I think. Like,
I would like someone out there to go through the 500 episodes and make sure they are legitimately 500 episodes and not, this one is hey, sorry, I can't do it this week. We'll be back next week. That's episode 398.
It's just
that
Chris
shouldn't
putting
count.
on voices and like hats and wigs and stuff.
Graham, was it Graham Hunter?
Graham Hunter, yeah. Works for a lot of studios. Does Graham?
Well done, Chris, and good
congrats,
luck with
man.
your future endeavours, even though you are working for one of the driest video game podcasts on the internet.
Yeah, it's a shame we couldn't make it to 501, but it's a bit of a shame, really.
Should we stop at 500? How many?
501. We've got to be
Chris.
Chris.
I'm not lasting that long. 500
that the episode
episodes of this shit.
Well, we've only got another 92.
Oh, really? Are we on 400 nod?
This is 408th episode.
Yeah, far away.
Oh, that's too much, isn't it?
It was too late now.
Not enough. 1,000. Let's get to 1,000 and then.
No. Stop at 999, just to really wind people up.
Yeah, just to piss them off. Well, I mean, one of us has checked out already, so I don't know.
I was going to say. Yeah.
We'll replace it with some fresh blood, and that'll keep us. It's fun.
But James will still want paying as well, wouldn't he? He's like, my name's over the door.
Yeah, that is the problem. That is
I
the problem we
found it.
have with that one.
Yeah. As co-founder.
Is that finally it for the news?
That's finally it for news.
What you've been playing then, and unfortunately, I'm so sorry. I have been playing Cyberpunk and Fortnite with the boys again in separate rooms, like a bunch of nerds. So I haven't really got much to say this week, other than Cyberpunk is all right.
Hang on.
You're still not in the DLC, are you?
I'm well into the DLC, yeah.
Okay.
Although I'm doing the bit in the DLC where it's like, fuck them, give them some side quests to do. Where I've got to do the Mr. Hands gigs.
Yeah. They do get really good.
Story.
Apparently, I only did.
Some of them are alright, but like that game was built on shaky foundations, and as much as they've improved it and made it much better, way better than it was, there's still part of me that goes, this is still a game built on shaky foundations. Some of the missions are very trite, and some of the writing, I mean, I mentioned it last week, really just pisses me off, because it is like, and you're just like, all right. And even in this DLC, you're like, okay, it's better, it's an improvement, and it feels like you're playing a BioShock instead of a GTA, like a really early GTA game that's also broken. But there is, like, you do still have that stink of what it was based on, and I cannot wait to I'm at the point where I'm not, like, I'm enjoying the DLC, but I'm not being blown away by it, and I'm kind of going, I need to get to the end of this experience now.
That's weird, because I thought everyone absolutely loved the DLC, but was it because the DLC coincided with that massive patch and people haven't played it for a while, whereas David, you've been playing bits?
Look, I think the DLC has levels in it, or certainly when you start it blows your socks off, because you're like, it doesn't even feel like Cyberpunk now. It feels like I've been put into a story, a narrative driven FPS, and I'm assuming there are way more missions like that within the DLC, which is great. The problem is that it does this thing, Cyberpunk, and I know you can skip it, but you shouldn't have to. There are bits where it's like, wait 3 days and then come back,
Yeah,
and then
someone
the
will be
story
like, right,
will
I've got our
progress.
next mission planned, but I need to do some prep, so you
Go
just
away
hang
for
out.
a bit, and you go, okay. And then there are other ones where it's like, right, okay, to progress, you need to get this person on your side, but to do that, you've got to do side quests, and they're not the big side quests that evolve and create, like, that you get with River, or you get with who's the lady in the desert.
The
Lovely lady
Pan Am.
in the desert.
My wife,
Pam,
Pan Am.
Pam Am, yeah. Like that stuff evolves out of nothing, right? You think, oh, this is this one character that I'm meeting, and it turns out you have a whole big fucking adventure with them without even thinking that you were getting into that. Seems to be like just more of the do this little side quest for this person, they like you, and then there's the tick done on that bit, and you can progress. But I still feel that I'm quite early on, and I think that if they have more missions like the start of that DLC, then I'm in for a good time, and I will finish it. I've got to finish it. I mean, it certainly hasn't helped that I've played this game over a period of about 4 years at this point. Is it 4 years?
Yeah, he
or
must
3?
be. He must be tired. Yeah.
It is mental.
Good though.
How long's the DLC supposed to be?
I got just in
20
terms
hours.
of like what you were saying, David. So I got a message from a friend of the show, Chris Spann, this week, where he's like, there's been a couple of headlines around the next Cyberpunk about the team being based in America and stuff, and yeah, he just messaged me with like one of the headlines. It was like, oh, the stuff we know about the new Cyberpunk, and he was just like, I don't know if I can do this again.
Here we go
The
again.
whole build up to that game, and then what actually got released initially was just like.
Well, I think they'll learn their
exhausting
lessons.
thinking about
I don't
it.
think we'll get as much public-facing stuff
Yeah, I think
as we
you're probably
did with that.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I don't know if
could
you
be
saw
wrong.
the headlines. It was basically stuff. There was some comment that basically, the next Cyberpunk can be like more authentically American because the team's going to be based in America. So I don't think that was anyone's problem with the last
That
one.
wasn't the problem with
Yeah,
the
oh,
game
it's
at
not
It was
all.
authentically buggy, is what it was.
I'm trying to
yeah,
find
it's
how
a weird
long
thing
I've
to
actually
say,
put into the game. I bet it is. I don't even know how you do that. Oh, you do it here, don't you? Shall I see how long I've actually spent on the game? Because I bet it's a long time.
I bet it must be
feels like
60 hours plus.
60
at this
hours.
point.
Let's have a
Gotta be
look.
by this
Cyberpunk
point.
2077.
The first
Stats.
20 hours.
No, it's not 60 hours plus. It's 45
Okay.
hours. 45 hours. I put
Okay.
into that, which is actually less than I thought it would. And also, look, the skill tree has been an improvement over what it was, but I still have problems with it. Still feels like the whole separate leveling up each part, like each section, and then further leveling up within that tree, kind of feels a little bit like I'm constantly jumping over hurdles to get the perks that I want. It's like, well, yeah, I can get that one, but I need to save up enough perk points there and also level up points, to push that white bar up the screen. And I feel like I'm not actually having a build, and I'm just getting bored and just selecting anything, which is on me, I get. Right? But
yeah, that was the thing I really liked about the new skill tree was it felt like the sort of viable builds were a lot sort of clearer from it.
yeah, but there's also the case of like I come to a door, and it's not how you should play the game, but you can totally play the game like this. Come to a door and it's like force open, strength 15, and I go, right, well, I'll just de-level this and then level that up to 15, and then I can get through the door then, can't I?
Yeah,
Like,
that is weird.
It is weird,
Yeah, right,
right?
yeah,
It
that's
is
a bit-
weird. Because it's like, yeah, you can remove your perks if you want and then put them elsewhere. All right, I'll do
Is
that
there not
every
any
time I
limit
need
on
to
that?
do
I thought there was
something.
like you could only respec so many times.
Maybe that's why
Yeah, I think
I'm so
your
low-leveled
core-
across the board.
Yeah, so your core stats you can only change. I think you get one free change, and then it costs a load of money after that. But then it's the skills within those that you can reassign.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah,
All right. I'm sure I've done that, though. I'm sure I've knocked one down to knock another one up. But anyway, it is it's a fine game. It's a fine game. But that's kind of it. I feel bad. I've always got something to bring to the table in this, and I haven't this week. So I feel really awful about it. Matt?
Yeah, I haven't played any either. I mean, the
No,
Euros are
it's a
on.
regular.
well, I was
Yeah.
going to say, yeah. I mean, it's a tough week because even like obviously I'm not even watching the football, but then I've been watching Glastonbury stuff all weekend, which is not like me. But
Yeah,
it's been
Glastonbury's
quite,
on.
Who
been
have
quite
you watched?
nice.
Who's been the best you've seen?
Oh, Orbital, mate.
Oh,
I've
Evan's
not
Idols are
watched
incredible.
Orbital. Maybe I
I've not
should.
seen Idols yet. Orbital set
Idols
was
were
really
really
good. It was a
good.
really nice surprise, sort of 2/3 in, which I won't spoil.
Okay, I will watch Orbital. Please watch The Last Dinner Party if you didn't see them.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
They are what an insane what is it? The debut album in February, and they already look like one of the most established bands I've seen at Glastonbury this year. It's insane. They're insanely talented. Just anyone watch the Last Dinner Party set at Glastonbury. It's incredible. But yeah,
Ben in
Idols
the
were
chat's
great.
mentioned Ottoboke Beaver, who were amazing as well. I watched them with Isaac. He managed about 20 minutes, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've
they were
been
really
watching it
good.
with the boys as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the Idols got a kid on stage at one point,
Oh yeah.
and he was just playing the drums alongside the drummer. He was just playing, and we're gonna go and see Kid Capici next like 3 weeks in this little cafe. And Charlie went, "What if they bring me on stage?" And I'm like, "Listen, they're probably not, mate, but
Yeah, it's probably not that kind of gig.
not that sort of gig." But yeah, no, there's been I love all that stuff. Love whacking on Glastonbury.
I think
for the
just like
weekend. It's good.
especially like with me being so disconnected from like pop music in general, like barely knowing who Dua Lipa is, and then just seeing like this, like just the opening of her set, just like, oh yeah, this is fucking amazing. Like on what level is this not enjoyable? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Yeah. I totally agree. But Matt, did you see he was on stage with the Streets?
Oh no, I haven't watched the Street set
You
yet.
not see?
No.
Let's see who you brought out. You won't
No.
believe it. Masterpiece.
Oh my god! Okay, so I saw like a masterpiece clip where he was on stage, but I didn't actually like, look close enough. Oh really? Oh amazing!
Yeah, it's with the Streets. Yeah.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
basically, he's another artist that I found very, very early on. It must have been about 6 or 7 months before the debut come out. I was like,
Yeah, it was a while.
man, this one has potential, and it was like, what's that, 50 or 60 followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's winning awards, and he was on stage with the Streets.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, I'll watch
It's like
that.
really cool.
Yeah, I still
Yeah,
love
no,
Streets.
good.
I think I like the Streets new album, so yeah, I'll dig that out.
Never
I know-
got the Streets.
Oh
Never
yeah, I
got
loved
it.
them. Yeah, very good.
Apparently,
Which
Avril
I don't
Lavigne's
know
set
it.
was an absolute.
Yeah. Avril Lavigne
I've
set was so
heard-
big they were turning people away.
Yeah, well, they're saying that there's that and Sugar Babes apparently were like on one
Yeah,
of the side
massive, yeah.
stages.
Yeah,
but
but
were
did
so
you watch the
insanely
Sugar
popular.
Babes?
No, were they bad?
Holy shit. Yeah, I'm surprised. They said they had a one in, one out policy. I'm surprised there wasn't a more out. Sorry, that was the music section of the computer
Yeah.
game show.
We'll probably get into that more on the bonus show, right?
Yeah.
Quite a fun thing to talk
should
Yeah, I'm
have
gonna watch
show
much more.
content.
about.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, okay.
I've played a couple of games, a bit.
Go on then.
Islands of Insight. I talked about this a couple of months back. There's a demo of it. This is the one.
That's what I call this podcast.
Just what?
This is the one where you're like an angel, and oh god, what have I missed?
Angel
I missed
Delight?
something.
No. It was me doing a silly voice, and
Okay.
Matt laughed at it, and then it made me laugh.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a puzzle game, but it's like you mists or whatever, right? In that you're just kind of going around these environments and you're solving puzzles, but they're in no way like environment based or like so something like Myst, you are trying to progress. The puzzles are things built into the environment because they would be part of the environment, right? If it was a real place. Whereas this is like you're walking around and then there's this cube floating in the air and you click on it and it shows you a puzzle with like some clicking tiles and stuff. Or you'll be walking around and then it's like, oh, here there's like a series of these like metal rings in the sky, and you have to look at them in such a way and like click so that basically you like the center of your point of view passes through all the circles, but then there's some other circles that are different colors and you can't pass through those. So it's like they sort of, it makes sense that they like a lot of the puzzles have to be in a 3D space that you are walking around, but it's like they're so arbitrarily just dropped into this environment that it's like and you're just doing them to get points, and then you level up, and then you can go to the next. You get fired out of a magic cannon onto the next island, and then you solve more puzzles. And it is entirely pleasant, but it's just so weird and funny to me how, just how arbitrary the whole thing is. In the and again, you'll be walking around this island, and then like, oh, here's like a massive glass block that's just been fucking plonked on the ground, and you go in. It's like, oh, it's a maze. It's like a 3-layer maze. All these like. It's weird. But what's weirdest about it is the reason I've been playing it is they gave it away for free for a day.
I was about to say, what is this about?
Wow.
What was?
They-
I don't.
yeah,
Why have you even come
I
across
don't
this
know.
game?
I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know if it's like completely failed or what, or I think it's like done okay.
I feel like they'll get this. Will get them talking about on TCGS,
maybe,
and
yeah,
Sean's
it's
gonna love
worked,
it.
So yeah.
Sean's gonna fucking love it.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, to be clear, so basically there was 24 hours in which you could claim it forever. It wasn't just, oh, you can play it for 24 hours. The game was just free.
Well, they publicised it. They said it's free now.
They put it out there, and they made sure people knew about it. So I don't know. It's just
Apparently
weird.
didn't do well, actually.
I did it not. Well,
No, they put out a statement saying, I had to make cuts at the studio and they're looking for new work. So,
shame. Phil Walls just pointed out in the chat as well. So they're adding an offline mode because that was the other thing. Is it was online, and even from the demo, I was like, I don't really get why. There's other people walking around solving some of the puzzles, and because I'm weird about puzzles, I'm like, no, get off my puzzles. Why are you solving my puzzles for me? I think the idea was that you would collaborate with other people, but I'm not really interested in that. I'd rather just go through it at my own pace, and I don't know, weird. So yeah, they're adding an offline mode as well. It's good. It's a shame that it didn't do well. And I probably would have bought it eventually, but the silly buggers gave it to me for free. So cheers, I suppose.
It was not the best best marketing campaign, is it?
No,
Jesus.
not really. And yeah, the other thing I've been playing is I've gone back to Monster Hunter Now, the phone one. Gave up on it because ages ago because really enjoyed it initially, and I was frustrated with it because the combat is genuinely really good fun. It's really fun distillation of obviously proper Monster Hunter combat is very technical, whereas this is just touching and swiping on your screen. But it did a really good job of simplifying that combat and still retaining some of the nuance and all the different weapon types and stuff. But I hit a point where I couldn't progress without help from someone else. Basically, the character wasn't strong enough, but I couldn't defeat enough monsters to get better stuff to get that next rung on the ladder. But yeah, so they've since added more weapons, and most recently I think added the gun lance. And basically, what that means is there's a quest chain to introduce you to the new whenever there's a new weapon, and by following that, you end up with a really good one. So I'm kind of at this point now. So that sort of got me back into it, and it meant I could progress with the main story. I was strong enough now, I'm doing enough damage to actually progress with that. But also it means I've got this really good gun lance, but I can't really afford to switch to anything else now because it's the only thing I've got that's strong enough. And so I'm back on it and enjoying it, but I think I'm gonna hit that wall again. And it still doesn't have like Pokemon Go sort of expanded to there was so much stuff you could do with friends who weren't nearby, right? There was just sending each other postcards and stuff and getting free items
gifts
for it.
and
the gifts and being able to do raids with other people remotely and stuff.
Well, did they keep that in? I know they obviously introduced that over COVID, but did they keep that in remote raiding?
Yeah, so the remote raid passes that you needed to do it sort of quietly got more expensive over time,
right.
But it's still an option. Whereas this is if your friends aren't literally stood next to you, then you're not getting any help, basically.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we're crying out for them to monetize this to hell, but you've got to, that could be an option, and they could be getting more revenue for people who wants to play it and their friends aren't nearby.
Yeah, it's weird because on the one hand, part of you is well, obviously this is a new game, but then on the other hand, you're but it's still Niantic. So why hasn't this kind of launched with all the sort of functionality that Pokemon?
Yeah, I mean, not all the learnings they had from a previous game they should bring into this. But hey,
you would think so. But then maybe the thinking is well, we don't know how. Maybe this will evolve differently, right? Because obviously, so much about the way Pokemon Go has ended up has been because it's Pokemon, because of the sort of player base it has, because of COVID. Like obviously that was a big effect on it. So maybe they're thinking like, well, maybe this will sort of skew differently over time. Who knows? But yeah, but I'm playing that again, and it's all right. And I'm probably going to get annoyed with it at some point and stop playing it. It doesn't make me want to play proper Monster Hunter again, though.
Yeah, I was going to ask what my two questions were. One, is this just getting you hyped up for a new one? Also, like, is this making you go out and go for long walks where Pokemon Go might have, or is it?
I've gone for a couple of bike rides, just because I'm looking at a quest or a bit of gear I want to finish making or whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, there's like a gathering point, or there's this certain monster that's like that would be a bit of an annoying walk. But if I just get on the bike, that'll be like a 5-minute bike ride. So I've done that a few times.
So obviously Pokemon Go was massive, and for years really there was points where you would see a bunch of people on their phones at certain random locations, and you knew they were all playing Pokemon Go.
It was so weird, wasn't it? That whole period, like, because everyone knew about it.
Yeah.
And
still
then
happens.
it's
just they're more. Yeah, I don't know. You don't really notice.
No, yeah, but there was that period of about a month where you would see groups of 10, 15 people just walking around together. Look at it. It was mad. Like, it was absolutely mad. What a total phenomenon.
Yeah.
And then
I assume
completely ruined with Pokemon Go to the polls. Like, that still is like imprinted into my brain. That
I occasionally have to look that up because I'm sure I must have made it up.
No, she said it.
100% real.
She said it.
Yeah.
She let Trump in with that one.
Yeah. And I assume, Sean, when you're now at random locations like a church or, a shop, you're seeing tons of people playing Monster Hunter on their phones as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But I was hoping there'll be a moment where you do see someone else wearing, like a Uniqlo Monster Hunter t-shirt. You're like, I know what you're doing here, and I know what I'm doing here, so we should probably be best friends.
Well, it would be very handy if Nu would get into it. So she really got into Pokemon Go for a while, but then we both sort of drifted off it again. So
She not got into this one?
Not yet. Not got to install.
It's a little bit nerdier, isn't it?
A little bit.
Because there's more to it with like the combat and stuff. I don't know if she'll be as interested.
Yeah, that's the reason, and not that it's about cute little Pokemon that everyone knows.
Well, because this is the other thing. Because obviously the other thing with Pokemon Go is that obviously Isaac's really into Pokemon, so it was something we could all talk about together. Whereas like he's seen me play Monster Hunter and he likes it, but he's not going to learn all the monster types and stuff, right? He's not that interested. Not in the same way he was with Pokemon. So
Pokemon, go to the polls
on Thursday.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Fucking hell. This might be our last recording
Tory
with the Tory
pod.
government.
Oh, yes.
The last Tory pod.
Shit.
Might be.
Should that be the episode title? Tory's out now? Don't know.
Did we... I can't remember if this was just a WhatsApp conversation or if we talked about it in the show where I was saying about how funny would it be to do our own election night coverage on Twitch.
Yes.
Yeah, I just went, absolutely not. I can't imagine anything worse.
I think that'd be great.
Stand up for
I
that.
have nothing to say, but
because
we'll wear suits. James get drunk and really passionate about it. I'll have nothing interesting to say, but think of quips around the politicians' names. It'll be brilliant. We're not doing it.
We're not doing it. But it's fun to dream, isn't it?
Doing it. And that's what we've been playing this week. Like, I'm kind of...
We can read out. James has sent us his notes.
Yeah, I've got notes
too.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Why has he done that? Look, you're not on the show. Don't try and be on the show. It's embarrassing. What's he said?
I should have passed it off
when he comes back.
What, in December?
No, don't let him talk about it when he comes back. We don't want to read out what he thinks of it.
That's true. He's trying to get out of talking about it.
Yeah, and then no, save that, James, for when you come back, and we can go through the games you've been playing. It's better to hear you talk about them. But yeah, he's been playing Luigi's Mansion 2 remaster or whatever. But I'm thinking about games that are coming out. Like the next game I think I'm going to buy is that NES challenge thing, because that just looks really fucking fun. But there are actually decent games coming out this year still, right? So
that same day, there's like Flintlock for the Xbox show, which looks good. I remember that.
Sounds really cool.
That's out on the 18th, and Shim. And Shim, which is a indie title where you're kind of jumping from shadow to shadow, or puddle to puddle.
Flintlock's Flintlock's coming to Game Pass.
Yep,
it is. It's a Souls-like. I know. But what seems really interesting about it is that my understanding is basically as you're progressing through it and you're killing stuff, you can choose when to bank your souls or whatever they are, the equivalent. And I think you start getting like multipliers. So you sort of incentivize to sort of try and keep going without dying. But also, if you're a scaredy cat like me, you can just bank those whenever you like on a fairly regular basis. It sounds really interesting. I'm keen.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, but that's out. Shim's out, which is any title we've seen for 2 or 3 years at this point, where you're jumping from shadow to shadow, and that Nez challenge thing all out on the 18th. So decent.
I'm gonna as well read it out now. Fill it with an F. Saying quick one this week. Just watched a video preview about the Plucky Squire and it's cemented itself as atop my most anticipated list for the rest of 2024. What are some of your most anticipated games for the remainder of the year?
Right.
So what doesn't help is there are loads of games I'm excited about, but I don't know. I think half of them are out next year at this point.
Oh really? Like what?
Sorry,
that sounded way more aggressive than I was supposed
like
to be.
what?
Prove it. So Skate Story I'm still really excited about, but they've been very quiet about when that's coming out. I think that's getting pushed back to next year. Obviously there's a lot of stuff we saw at the Microsoft conference, or the Xbox conference, rather.
Yeah, there was.
A lot of that was 2025, wasn't it? Skate, the new Skate.
That's this year, right?
Stuff
is that this year?
I thought it was. But...
Oh, maybe. Or is that like beta?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this year, focusing on this year, but like, what are the potentials for games that for that are coming out this year? You're thinking. So I'm looking forward to NES classics. You've got Plucky Squire's definitely up there. Although
I didn't read the previews,
I'm still a little bit concerned about that game and where it's going to end up.
Well,
it won't live up to the.
Yeah,
it might just be a bit of a gimmick, and then.
Yeah, and they're also showing loads of it off. I had to unfollow them on on Twitter because it's like I want to discover all this shit. They're like, look at all the cool shit you can do, and I'm like, fine, but I want to discover that rather than be shown it in relentless marketing.
I saw the previews were out, and I saw some very glowing things, but I didn't read. But even just on the tweets or headlines I saw, I was like, okay, this has previewed really well as well, so that's quite exciting.
Star Wars Outlaws definitely
obviously
9.
10
rated game.
10 probably 10 out of 10
for sure.
New Zelda game.
Yeah, man.
New Zelda game is big. That'd be cool. I'm trying to think of what else though.
Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Spencer in the chat.
Is another one. There are some good games coming out. Some good games coming out. I've got high hopes.
I know we mentioned it earlier, but the Alters as well. Really excited, especially.
That's right. That sounded really cool.
I think after falsely announcing that loads of stuff was coming to Game Pass that actually wasn't, I'm just like, I think I just put it out of my mind now.
Nervous.
Didn't realise that was on Game Pass, so that's cool.
I'm interested in Stalker 2. I mean, I have not played the previous ones, but atmosphere-wise, it looks right on my street.
Yeah.
I have to ask, why on earth has either Sony or Microsoft not stuck a version of Chain Together on Game Pass or PS Plus?
I'm sure they're desperate to, but
not that simple. But yeah,
no,
I'm pretty sure it's that simple. I'm pretty sure it was made on like the most basic. Come on, like when you look at it, it's
that
like
might be the problem though.
Yeah, but these games will blow up, like Lethal Company and Content Warning. Like I assume a small team is trying to do everything they can to maximize the community and whatnot on Steam. Like I'm sure it will come to console at some point, absolutely, but they're going to focus where the audience is right now. And yes, I know we would love it on console because it looks great, but I'm sure everything they can to make sure that game works.
Game coming out on Xbox like next month. That is, if you've not seen it, go onto YouTube and search Chain Together videos and people playing Chain Together. That game is a stream waiting to happen for us. It is essentially, I mean, this climbing a tower thing.
I was going to say, it looks a lot like that, doesn't it? That one that came out previously.
Those games are regular. You can get them in Fortnite now. Harry plays them with his friends. But the fact that you're chained together this time and you've got to work together to get through it, my God, I can't wait to play that game with you guys. It's going to be fucking hilarious.
Just what you said there, I genuinely believe this will be a mode in Fortnite before it comes out on console.
It will be, and it will probably be better when it. Let's face it. It's such a shit thing to say. Yeah, there'll be a Fortnite mod of it soon, and Harry and his mates will be playing it.
Ben in the chat saying SteamWorld Heist 2, yep. And Space Marine 2 as well. Although that was weird. Did you see the news around that? There was supposed to be a public beta, and they just sort of went, "Yeah, we're not doing that actually."
Yeah, I did see that. What was the reasons behind him cancelling it?
It was some vague stuff about just wanting the game to be as good as it can be or something, which I sort of read as like, yeah, it turns out we don't want your feedback. We can just make it better ourselves.
Not ready for public consumption.
Yeah, so more likely it's probably just that the public beta was going to be too much of a headache for him.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of effort you've got to do to get a build out there for a public beta, but it's a fucking right ball ache.
And even just demos, right? Even just like
the public aren't even any good.
You can't just be like, right, well, we'll just put out the first level and not include any assets for anything else because everything's fucking intertwined.
It's a whole different release in itself. You know, UI, the testing, and it's just I'm still very excited for new Metal Gear Solid. Sorry, not new, but the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Did you just say I is very excited? I is still excited.
I is still excited for Snake Eater.
Wicked. All right. We sort of stealthily moved into questions now anyway, haven't we?
Oh, just before we get there, like that foot one, that's out next week actually.
Oh, is it?
The foot one?
Yeah.
The foot one.
Is that the first person kind of Hotline Miami where you use your foot to kill everyone?
Yeah.
What is this called? What's it called?
Angerfoot. Yeah. It was shown in like Devolver Digital this year and a couple of years ago, I think.
Okay. They're thinking they're being clever now, do they? With these ideas of theirs.
They've always thought they're clever, and they often are. So we'll let them off with it.
It looks good to me.
All right then. Let's get to questions.
If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS in your net browser of choice. Andy of the North says, "Dear TCGS, I've randomly found myself playing the surprisingly fun Blood Bowl series again, where Warhammer armies play American football against each other. What other sports and IPs do you think would work well as a crossover? Personally, I could see an Elden Ring golf game working well, as the setting and frame-perfect precision of From Software games would lend itself well to a golf game." That's a great idea. Not even in terms like mechanically or anything, just the idea of being like, yeah, you know Elden Ring, you can play golf on it now.
Yeah.
100%. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, with all the various weapons and like for different powers.
I mean, literally, it's just, there you go. It's fucking Nick Faldo, just using a normal set of golf clubs. I don't give a shit. But just being able to play golf in that environment, I think would be great.
Nick Faldo, but wearing all the various kind of armor sets. Yeah, I love that.
For me, it's a Life is Strange style narrative experience where you have to deal with social interactions and decision you make has a big impact on the people around you and what goes on. Spliced with darts, where there's a darts mini game, but every day that you have to get up and you have to turn around to your dad and go, "No, really, I can make money from this. Stop getting on my back. I can become the ultimate darts champion." and it's called Luke Littler. The game is just called Luke Littler, the story.
Can't it be like Lucas Strange or something?
Nice.
Bit harsh.
We'll go with that. Okay. I hope he listens. You know he's a video gamer.
Is he?
I hope he listens. If you know Luke Littler and you know he likes video games, just point him this way. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then also tell him that the main host really likes darts and would like to be his VIP at his Ali Pali next time is at Ali Pali.
Oh yeah, another ticket, please. I'll go.
Okay. That's Matt. It's your turn.
I mean, just on golfing, Sean, this is totally different. But the team who made Hot Shots Golf, like their new golf game's already out now on Quest.
Yes, I've got it. I've got a chance to play it properly.
Oh, have you? Okay, I quite fancy playing that. Yeah, because I mean, Hot Shots Golf, and what was the other one? There's on Apple Arcade as well. They had one.
I think the Apple Arcade one was Hot Shots Golf, wasn't it? But the other ones were. Oh fuck! I forgot what they were called now. They did all the PlayStation ones. Clap Hands was the developer.
Yeah,
Clap Hands. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was called Clap Golf, wasn't it? Wasn't it called Clap Golf?
Was it called Clap?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah,
Clap Golf.
The fact it's now out on Quest, I'm interested in trying that. I mean, I was gonna say, I mean, I think anything like Soulsborne with other sports works really well. I mean, I love to see like Sekiro soccer, basically. I don't know how it'd work, but frame perfect, like shots on football, so it's almost like quite strategic and strategy. Like, I think that would work really well.
They got that football JRPG, haven't they? What was it called? I remember playing one of them and just thinking, this would be good if it wasn't so shit. Like, there was weird things where it was like a little bit of story and there was like loads of training missions, and it was like, well, these bits aren't fun. Just
Soccer Story?
No, Inazuma 11. I think that might be the one, Scientologist. I played the one on the 3DS. I think it was on the 3DS, Inazuma 11, and it was just weird. It's a weird game where they felt the need to put too much football into it.
There's a football RPG here called Bang Average Football, which sounds great.
Is it based around Crystal Palace?
All right, it's not 10th league, mate.
Next question.
MD Krabuff says, do you love biscuits, fashion, or dinner?
Biscuits is the best of those.
No, well, I love and hate biscuits. That's the trouble.
What?
Because they're too nice and you eat too many of them. That's the trouble with biscuits.
Where's the hate?
Because you eat too many of them.
Why do you hate biscuits? Because they're too nice and lovely and I love them.
But do you remember the bit where I said you eat too many of them and you feel like rubbish because you've eaten about 1,000 biscuits?
Biscuits' fault.
Okay, so what are you choosing instead? Fashion and what was the other one? Dinner.
Well, dinner's more consistent. I don't hate myself after eating a whole dinner.
Oh,
yes,
you're
not doing it properly. Then.
I've hated
well, if
myself
I do it,
after eating it.
but I would if I ate a whole pack of biscuits. So, thinking dinner.
Dinner biscuits. Fashion.
What's the question again?
Do you love biscuits, fashion, or dinner? I don't know if this is a reference to something.
I mean, I do like fashion, and I don't feel bad after it. Yeah, I like fashion. I like fashion boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I like fashion boy. I don't feel bad after that, but I guess if I bought loads of clothes, I feel bad. But generally, that makes me feel nice. Biscuits, double-edged sword.
Yeah, but
dinner
there's a difference. Wearing
consistent.
New clothes is amazing, right? Wearing new pants is the best. Second to that is wearing new socks. And then you've got like wearing a new pair of jeans or a new top.
I don't get the pleasure from socks. I'd rather get like a nice new top or jeans or anything else.
Oh, when you put on new socks, it feels wonderful.
It is nice, but it doesn't mean the pleasure of having like a nice new top or jacket or trainers.
Right.
A new jacket's the one. New jacket.
Right, that's great, but that's not fashion though, is it? That is, I could like eat. Honestly, I know fuck all about
just
fashion.
Getting new socks.
No, that's what I'm saying. I agree. I agree. I know fuck all about fashion, or whatever. So as much as I like wearing new socks, fashion is out. Right, that's out of this equation. It is between dinner and biscuits, and for me, mate, fucking biscuits are the one all day, every day. I fucking love them.
Biscuits are absolutely fantastic.
They are good.
To be fair, I would have biscuits for dinner if I could. That's the
okay. So is that your choice as well, Sean?
Yeah, I think so.
Matt.
So at our work, we're trying to be more environmentally friendly, and we used to have loads of individually wrapped biscuits, and to like be more environmentally friendly, now we're going to like just standard packs of biscuits. But it is so much fucking easier to eat loads of them when you're walking past, and there's like whereas before,
just grab another 6.
Yeah. Oh no, there's like 2 party rings out. I might as well have them. There's some Biscoff. Like it's like
I love that they're saying.
It was easier before when I had to actually like open a packet and eat it.
We're trying to be more environmentally friendly. Also, they are just happen to be cheaper. They just happen to be cheaper than individually.
It's best of both.
I mean, if environmental friendliness is the aim here, has anyone suggested no biscuits?
Not getting the biscuits.
Yeah, possibly, but there'll be a riot because people love their biscuits, Sean. I would say dinner, biscuits, and fashion. And
in that order, fashion's really coming out of the bottom, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, I do.
look
I
at
like
us.
fashion. I like trying to
I'm
keep
not
up
being
with
funny.
it. But
One of us is look. Two of us are wearing England shirts, and the other one's wearing a yellow. Is that an
I'm wearing
Under Armour top?
what? No, it's Haglofs.
Okay.
Have a
Sorry,
very,
it's
very
just-
fancy outdoor wear brand.
I'm also getting I'm getting all used to have this shirt now, while I still can. So
That's true. Yeah, it's like Christmas, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wear it soon.
Yeah. All right.
Plus, to be fair, Dave, I don't think any of us put our best clothes on for podcasts.
No
Right, okay,
way.
Look, oi, don't take it personally, Sean.
I'm wearing like football shorts under this, so no, I'm not wearing the high fashion for the pod.
You're a middle-aged white dad, right? You're not supposed to be good
I
at
thought
passion.
middle age was like 50s.
But we can be good at
Passion.
passion.
At fashion, I mean. No, what I'm saying is that none of us are fashion-based, are we?
How
Why are you
fucking
taking
dare
offence
you.
to that?
well, I'm not
How
taking
fucking
offence.
dare
I'm just
you.
saying I do quite like clothes and do put some thought into what I wear usually.
Yeah, so do I, you prick.
So
Come
sorry if that's
on.
not obvious. Sorry if I don't
It's
just
like-
go, oh, I'll just wear another polo shirt today then.
Yeah, get
Oh,
him,
look,
get him,
he's turning
Sean.
it around.
Get him, Sean.
I am fully aware that I'm not fashionable and I know nothing about fashion. I can admit that, Sean. Right? Step up to the plate. Just realise. What was it? It was like my brother turned around to me not too long ago, and I had jeans that were a little bit baggier than what I usually wear or whatever. And
Which
he
is the
turned around
fashion.
and went. He looked at me and went, "Look, yeah, you're wearing dad jeans." And I went, "I'm a dad."
I am a dad.
And you are too. So come on, have a word.
You also like baggiest things are in.
I never
more.
knew you'd be out of all the things I think you'd be sensitive about, Sean. I didn't
I'm not
think you'd be
sensitive about it. I'm
fashion.
just saying
Well,
I do quite like clothes.
okay.
I think I'm more sensitive about it. So I try and wear nice stuff that's vaguely fashionable. I mean, I'm still wearing
You're in
skinny jeans,
a
which are not.
DHgate England shirt, Matt. It's
Well,
not.
again, I'm not wearing for the pod.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love knitted polo and
What I've learned tonight is that people are very sensitive about what they wear. That's what I've learned tonight.
But on the
I
pod,
know
we
I
just
look-
wear any old
It's
shit
an
because it's
unfair
hot.
statement.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
yeah, you
This is
wanker.
wild.
It's because
Okay.
James isn't here, Matt. He's like, look, this is.
Yeah,
how James
he's like, how
feels.
can we attack
Yeah.
the two who are now
If
to
it's
wear
Sean,
clothes?
No one's getting angry, so I'll just insist that they are.
Yeah. What is that
You're
fucking
saying you-
Under Armour, you
okay.
prick? James is going to come back and there'll be no pod left. Why? Because we
Yeah,
talked
but
about
when James
fashion.
right, all I'll say is when James comes back with his feedback in a couple of weeks and goes, I like fashion, you'll laugh at him. I'll go, that's the reaction I've got to you. Right, so don't turn that on him. Go on. What's the next
The
one?
induction stove.
Obviously.
TCGF.
What's
I
the
like
point
classic
in this
vertical
podcast
scrolling
anymore?
shoot
What are we
'em ups.
doing with our lives? What is this podcast now?
Entertaining a nation. Next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Providing a vital resource. The induction stove.
Okay, just going to end there.
Says I like classic vertical scrolling shoot 'em ups where you're looking at your ship top down, moving up the screen, stuff like Ikaruga and Radiant Silvergun. For some reason, despite being basically the same thing, I've never been able to stand horizontal scrolling shoot 'em ups like R-Type. What's a pointless, arbitrary thing in games that you do not get on with, seemingly for no reason? Ian, it's called tate mode when it's vertical. Some people will say
Yeah,
tate
Ian.
mode, and if they do, just let it go. It's not really worth correcting them, to be honest.
Tate.
Tate mode.
I fucking hate ammo management. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
I
you mean?
really-
How do you mean? Like, if it's an inventory, reloading at the right point? What?
No. Reloading's fine. I just hate the fact that I've got a gun and now I've only got 30 bullets for it, and I hated it in Last of Us, even though that is a major part of what makes that game tense.
Yeah.
I hated it. Like I'm playing Cyberpunk now, and I'm just kind of like, my favorite gun is this, but I have to stop using it because I've run out of fucking bullets, which means that I need to go to a shop and buy bullets for it. Like the DLC's been a lot better for that, by the way. It's left ammo crates like everywhere, so it's way easier to keep your ammo topped up. But I'm kind of like, I get it. I get why it's in games, but I just every time it's like a low battery. Do you know what I mean? It's like What was that other game? I was playing a game or something the other day, and it was using health as a battery symbol, but it was on my phone as well. And I was watching my health go down and going, it just looks like my battery is running out on my phone, and it's really making me anxious. It's that when you have in the back of your mind, oh, I've got to charge something up, or I've got to do it. That's the same feeling I get with ammo in a video game. I'm kind of like,
it's like you're almost being punished for having fun with it, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like,
I've got a favourite gun, but
do you like
can't
shooting
use
the
it
gun?
always.
Well, stop it.
Yeah, for a bit, and go looking for a bit of ammo, please.
Yeah.
I don't know. Last of Us is a poor example because that game literally builds tension through that stuff.
Yeah,
well, I was going to say because
and loads of games do that, don't they?
In the Mad Max game, which is one of those like really good 7 out of 10s, and that was weird because early game like ammo was so scarce. Like you would usually only have like 1 or 2 like shotgun shells on you, and because they were like instant kill. So you'd be having fights and stuff, and you'd be like, right, actually, I'm struggling a bit here. Bang, you're dead, and it would like freak everyone out because bullets was like ammo was so rare and so valuable. Yeah. So everyone's like, "Holy shit, you just shot a gun! That's insane!" and then halfway through the game, you say, "Oh yeah, you've unlocked like you just get your ammo refilled now."
Fine.
Oh right,
happy with that. You had your moment. Yeah, it goes. I mean, you're right. It goes against everything the game stood for up until that point. But I'm kind of like, yeah, you had your moment. You had your moment where you go, oh, this is wild, and now I don't want to ever do that again.
Now I want to enjoy myself.
Yeah, it's kind of like I get it with games where part of it is the tension. There is no tension in Cyberpunk. Where you're going, oh no, I need bullets. You're just kind of like, Also, Cyberpunk, there's way too much stuff to pick up. There's way too much stuff to pick up. You know, like, I'm in the DLC. I'm very highly leveled in that game. I don't need tier 1 components anymore. Can you stop just putting them fucking everywhere, please? Yeah. Anyway, that's my little rant. That's my rant. Put that up. They probably won't put that out though, will they, Sean?
Nah.
Because of the woke.
Because of woke.
Because of
wokerati.
They don't want to hear it.
No, you can't the mainstream press will not even engage with that.
Pick up on that.
They won't because they're scared of you. My
answer
answer is too much choice in games, and we've all been over this. Where like, oh, you got his currency. What?
Boot him off the call. Sean, too much choice in games. That's what he's coming to the table with, is it?
Yeah, like, you know, when you start a game, it's like, here's his currency, and there's like 50,000 things to upgrade. Which one do you want to do? I'm like paralyzed by fear. I'm like, how do I know what one's the best one?
That sort of thing.
Loads of it. I like loads of games where I'm like, well, I just save all my points until I really truly know what I'm really going to be focusing my energies on. Like loads of times, like, okay, do you want to upgrade now? I'm like, well, what am I? If I put it into this, I might be totally wrong in like 5 hours time. Yeah, that thing kind of does matter. And then by the end, I've got like loads of points which I haven't spent because I've been scared to spend them. And it's like the same thing as like Resident Evil or those kinds of games where you don't spend any, you try and find as little as possible, and then you come to the final boss and you've got 25 rocket launchers and loads of like, you know, grenades which you were too scared to use because you're worried about ammo scarcity.
I think most games manage that stuff quite well these days, though. Like I think
there is a lot more being able to respec these days. Yeah. I just kind of go, oh, there's too much to do, you know, do. And that's what I hate about games.
My pet hate is games where when there's it's not even like a proper cutscene, but something's happening, like a building's blown up or something, and it's part of a scripted event, and it's like, and it takes control away from you, and it's like black borders top and bottom. And then it's like, oh, this is happening, and we want to make sure you don't miss it. That stuff just unbelievably pisses me off, and I don't know why.
Really?
I hate it.
What, a cutscene?
But not even. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm really glad I was stopped so that I could see this bit of fucking cinema. It's, you know, it's just like, oh, and now this character's jumped through a window, and now you're back to your character. It's like, no, just let me. I don't know. I hate it.
Well, so you'd rather
it's worse when it does that, right? And this does happen in games. It's worse when it does that, and then there's a QTE in the middle of it. So you go,
Yes, that's
oh,
very-
okay,
that's
I
very
should put the
annoying,
pad down for a little bit and watch this bit.
yeah. I think
You're
the workaround for this, I'm trying to remember which game does it now, where basically you always have control, but when there is like an important story event that they want you to look at, there will just be a prompt, and it'll be like, just hold this button, and you will look at the thing
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
happening. I think that's like a pretty good compromise. And obviously, I understand they just don't want you to miss things because people will. Like, they guarantee there'll be, because I can play through something and be like, well, I was going to see that anyway. It was right in front of me. You can guarantee there'll be someone who was facing the wrong way and running.
Oh yeah, or
left
looking
and
at
right,
their
but, like,
phone or
yeah.
yeah.
But I do like the idea of that happening and someone for every major cutscene in the game, they just turn their character and didn't even see it, just face the opposite way.
Turn your back to it. Like
Yeah,
a
I
speed
would.
run,
I
you
would
have to
not
turn your back
engage
to
with
every
this
cutscene, but yeah.
building blowing up or the character being killed. Forget it.
Excuse me. Kyle Extendable Dining Table says, I recently had a conversation with a friend. Recently had a conversation with a friend about the idea of comfort media and realised most of mine have a theme to them. For example, when I'm on a bit of a downer, I find something comforting in the lore episodes of Dark Calls, early episodes of the podcast Lore, and the free churro episode of BoJack Horseman, which is, barring the cold opening, just BoJack giving a eulogy at his mother's funeral. Do the four of you, give or take Dr. Boomstick if he's on holiday again, have any media you often return to when you need a bit of comfort?
No,
Any
not
media that I
really.
return to when I need a bit of
So
comfort.
I haven't done it for a while, but I used to re-watch the opening of Blade Runner 2049 quite a bit up until
Right.
he's like on the roof in the rain with
That
his,
is a fucking good movie to rewatch. So yeah, I have seen it a few
Yeah.
times, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
suppose Joe and I watch The Wedding Singer a lot
Mhm.
when we get to. I don't know why actually, but we'll maybe once a year we'll watch The Wedding Singer. I mean, it's because we know that we will enjoy it and quote it throughout the fucking thing.
No, 100%.
Um,
That's I
yeah.
think you should leave. Not with New, obviously, because you can't stand it.
Right.
But yeah, that's something I can just have on repeat forever and ever.
Yeah, that's what I do with The Office. When you said that about I think you should leave recently, I was thinking, yeah, I do that with The Office. Just have it in the background and just sort of semi-watch it. It's yeah, I don't think I mean I would like to say podcast, but I don't think there is a podcast that I regularly go back to and listen to old episodes of.
No, me neither.
No.
Matt, nothing.
No, because I mean, like most time, I feel like I barely got time for stuff that's happening now. Let alone, I'm gonna spend some time watching or listening to something that's old. And I'm,
nothing exists pre, January 2024.
yeah, it's all just retro shit, isn't it? Yeah, so I don't really. Yeah, I feel like I haven't barely found enough time for stuff I need to do and play, listen, and watch now. Let alone just having something on in the background. I mean, music, I guess, is albums I go back to, but I wouldn't even call them like comfort media. Just I haven't heard it for a long time. That's it.
Yeah.
Get it back on. Get it back on. Although I haven't said that, I do kind of really want to watch The Thick of It again. Obviously, given we're in election season, because I think that's amazing. So maybe it's good time to get that on in the background.
It's so good, like going back to the start of that as well, and sort of remembering where it ends up with like the inquiry and towards the end. Like,
and obviously we've, I've seen a lot of those random clips in the last week or two, and it's like it just feels so apt.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with The Thick of It is that I tapped out at one point and can't remember where it was, so jumping back in is going to be a problem. It's the same with Sunny in
start again, man.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, but there's so much of it. Well, I definitely got to the bit.
No, there's only like 3 series in there, I think. There's not much.
Yeah, and they're mostly like short.
They're really you
well.
can smash through them. Yeah.
So I got to the bit where he was no longer chief whip or whatever.
Oh
it is.
yeah.
And then he comes back.
Yeah.
And I'm like couple of episodes after that, I think.
Okay, we're near the end then.
Yeah, it's great.
Fuck.
We should get back to it.
Yeah, man. Good show. One of the best.
Yeah.
For sure.
That it?
Some guy with a suspect name I think may be a pun says, evening, I recently started playing South Park Snow Day, and oh dear, they pulled a Dino Crisis. They were onto a winner with the first 2 games, then made some jarring changes for the third out of nowhere. In times like this, is it worth persevering in the hope that it gets better, or do you knock the game on the head and move on? It's the
When you
latter,
say the
right?
first two games, do you mean Fractured Butthole and?
I was going to say it's completely different, aren't
Yeah,
they?
I think this is a
Yeah.
completely different dev, right?
Mhm.
Completely different. I mean, this looked like a stinker from day one.
Yeah.
Like
Got
I saw it,
panned,
it looked
didn't it?
like the old N64 first-person shooter at times.
Yeah. It was made by
Was it?
Question.
Question.
This was not the answer. That's for sure.
Yeah, no. I've got no interest in playing that game. I saw the previews for it, and I was like, holy, yeah.
No,
When
thank you.
look at times like this, is it worth persevering in the hope? No, absolutely not. It's just not.
Mhm.
If you're not digging a game, I think there's a compulsion to try and give it a little bit longer because you've paid for it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there is, I've played games that maybe I should have tapped out early, like Forspoken, for example. Paid 50 fucking quid for that game, and
You're gonna get your money's worth.
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna try and get your money's worth and try and see it through to the end. So I get it, but well, I can't. I like I want to sell you. No, ditch it, get rid of it. But I've done what you're doing, where I've paid the money, so I'm gonna fucking really out
The
of
thing
spite
is, yes,
finish
you've
it.
paid the money. You can't get that back, but you can stop giving it more time.
Yeah, because time's more precious than,
Yeah,
and also get
Time
sold.
is money.
time is
Time
money.
is money, baby.
I've heard that. I mean, I guess one thing similar to this is like you didn't bother with Crackdown 3, did you, David? Even though you loved the first one and you played a bit of the second one, whereas
No.
I did play that.
No, I played Crackdown 3. I didn't play
Oh.
Crackdown 2.
Well, what was the zombie one? Because I played that and I hadn't.
Crackdown 2.
Oh, okay,
That
right,
was-
okay.
Yeah, I played it, but it just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I played
Whereas-
more Crackdown 3 than I did 2.
Okay. Yeah, whereas I missed the Crackdown 1 thing, so I didn't have a 360 at the time. But yeah, it was like, that was comfort gaming. I just ran around and did all the things, even though I knew it wasn't a great game, but still enjoyed it. But I remember you having loved the first one, didn't even bother really with the second one, did you? Because you heard it wasn't great.
Yeah, well, I played the second one. I was like, this is shit. You backed the wrong horse there, Matt.
Yeah, well, wasn't around for the first
one
horse.
was
So. Rode whatever horse I could find at the time.
Any more?
Last question comes from Maria
E.
Mendieta. It says, "Dear
E.
TCGS corroded Game Boys, the local library used to offer 15-minute time slots to access the internet on their computers for research, which I would obviously use to play flash games. Lenny Loose Jocks, Fat Boy Raids the Cookie Factory, and eventually the Bounty of Nitrome games on the Miniclip website were part of my gaming diet. What place do flash games occupy within your view of gaming history at large? Keep up the always incredible work. Sincerely, Maria."
I've got an answer for this.
God.
Oh, go
I
on.
so rarely have answers to these questions, but there is only one, and you might have the same one, maybe, David. I played this so much when I was younger, and I still think about it all the time.
Is it the free kick thing?
It's Roberto Baggio's free kick game, yeah.
Yeah.
Hammered that. And I think maybe like Football Ramble, someone for the Euros tweeted a picture of it. And I was like, oh my God, that brings me back so much. I remember it got taken down and someone else rehosted it or rebuilt it or rehosted it. And it's like, man, I played that so bloody much.
Yeah,
It's
played
a
hell of a
free
lot of
kick,
that,
very, very simple free kick game where, I think there's like a couple of power bars, but as well as you being able to take a direct free kick to score, there's also like an attacker on your team and a defender, and every now and then, like you might get a penalty or something. Oh man, Roberto Baggio's free kick game.
Your memory just drifted away. Then you might get a penalty or.
No, exactly. I do remember like the attacker being fouled, and yeah, oh man, good times.
How can you get fouled? When's fouled for taking a free kick, man?
No. Like you can take the free kick, but there was another defender and attacker in the box, and I remember there were moments when your defender would get fouled, and then I don't know, pen. Anyway, that game.
A helicopter game where I've said this story before. I think where it was basically Flappy Bird.
Yeah, I think
basically Flappy Bird, where you control a helicopter and there was like these triangles and stuff would come and you had to avoid them. And I remember I was working for Home Base head office at the time, and every time the boss walked out, someone would go helicopters, and then you would then spend the whole time playing the helicopter game on your web browser until we come back and whoever had the highest score won. So you try and get as far as possible. But I remember that specifically. It'd walk out, and literally you see him walk through the doors, out the corridor, and then helicopters, and then everyone's screen would turn black while we were tapping the space bar trying to make the helicopter go as far as humanly possible. It was good times.
That does ring a bell. Yeah, this game is Roberto Baggio's Magical Kicks, and it's still available online now. So that is now
You
me
didn't listen to
forever.
what I said. Didn't listen to me at
No.
all then, and was researching.
No,
your
no,
own
no, no.
thing.
Because what's the helicopter game called? Because I remember there being a helicopter game where you would go on fire.
Oh look, now he's pretending to be interested, guys.
No, I was
Making
listening.
his
Out
own
this
helicopter
bullshit.
game. Just
I was listening when you first
What was
started talking.
that
I was like,
helicopter game called? I think it was just called Helicopter Map.
was it?
Twat. Yeah, I think it was. What do you think of that?
I don't think it was. Helicopter flash game. Okay, Sean.
I was just remembering.
It's
there
there.
was a website.
It's called Helicopter. It's called Helicopter Flash Game. It's there. It's fucking there. It's called Helicopter Flash Game, mate. You were right. I'm so sorry for doubting
You
you.
fucking prick. Oh my god, I've just seen a picture. Yes, yeah, this is 100%. I have this as well.
It's a good game.
Oh yeah, big style. Sorry, Sean.
That's all right. Yeah, I was trying to remember. There was this one website that had all these really pleasant flash games on it, and it was I don't know what the pronunciation is. It was basically original, so like original but spelt with an S or Horizon. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. But yeah, there was loads of stuff on there, and yeah, I didn't realize because obviously Flash died, but as of March 2024, it was all resurrected with something called Ruffle, which is like a Flash emulator. So yeah, that's actually all available, which is nice. It's probably rubbish now.
That's all the games we mentioned, all still available today. Great.
Do you remember the games on Sky TV boxes like Beehive Bedlam?
Yeah,
Smash
My
It's
parents
just a
couldn't
thing.
afford Sky TV when I was younger, so
Yeah,
no.
Going to make a joke about how Rishi didn't have he wasn't able to play those games.
I mean, I was being serious. Like,
You had to
we didn't have
fucking ruin
Sky.
the joke. Like, yeah, but you had to fucking ruin the joke.
we had some on our NTL box. And there was
They
one that
were
was just
shit.
like a really rubbish, like puzzle bobble copy, and my mum got well into it, and I've no idea why. You know, like, we've had games in the house for the last 15 years, good ones in the house for the last 15 years.
We have games
Why
at
is
home.
this- Yeah. Like,
We
why is
never
this
had
suddenly
Sky
captured
TV.
your imagination?
We never
Yeah.
had Sky TV, but my cousin did, and I
Hmm.
remember going over there and just going, "What? Why is this? What do you mean games?" He went, "Yeah, there's games on there." I went, "What are they?" And I loaded up Beehive Bedlam, and then it was like 3 hours later they were going, "Why are you still playing this?" And I was like,
It's dark,
Games,
David.
innit?
Go home.
"It's games,
It is
games though
What is games?
on the satellite." Are we done?
Yeah.
I think we might be done. I've got a big concern
Yeah.
about. So we're moving,
Mm.
and if it all goes ahead, I'm going to be in a terraced house.
Mhm.
Where the fuck do I podcast? Do you not worry that you're in a terraced house? Are you not worried
Yeah.
that people can hear you next door?
No. I mean, they almost certainly can. This wall here is what joins us to the neighbours.
Right. So that's what the situation is going to be like for me. But
Yeah.
Joe's like, "We'll just do it in the bedroom," and I'm like, "No, I'm not going to shout at the wall. There's probably a bedroom the other side." You're down.
Yeah.
You're not next to a bedroom, right?
No. I'm on the ground floor here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to.
I think
figure
I
out.
think it's the kitchen through there next door, so it's not too big a
Okay.
deal, really.
I'm gonna have to work out. I mean, you're knocking on my neighbour's door. Hello. Where's your kitchen, and do you occupy it on Monday nights between the hours of 8 and midnight?
just go round.
there.
Wearing some wraparound shades and be like, yeah, the thing is, I've got sort of a media career on the side, and
Yeah.
we have to
Just
do.
let it know.
You might have heard of me.
recordings. Yeah.
No, I just knock on the door and go.
Then take the shades off.
Just put my arms out and go. Turners.
Yeah.
I live
Turners.
next to you now.
And they're like, them old Monday nights.
Oh, them old Monday nights.
But in all seriousness, yeah, to go on right move, look at floor plans, and he can work it out.
Okay, I'll do
Yeah,
that.
that's true. I
Is that
just
it?
wouldn't worry about it. I think you'll be fine as long as you. I mean, we're not that loud, are we?
Yeah, it's more about
fucking
where
hell.
you can do it rather than like what's best for the neighbours.
Yeah.
Surely.
All right.
Fuck the
well,
neighbours. It's fine.
unsociable people.
Well, don't do that, Sean. It might cause issues.
Rude.
You said it.
Socials, Matt.
Yeah. I'm changing up because David said last week, fuck talking
Changing
about
up.
pills. streams. So if you're doing a stream, go to twitch.tv/TCGSCO. You'll find a stream in there throughout the week, maybe.
You
And
might
if you
have
miss
seen
them
me go
live,
on a little bike ride last week.
oh yeah,
I
that's
missed
on
that.
that's on Twitch,
It
but it's
didn't
not on
work.
YouTube. That one.
Yeah, so it probably wasn't worth putting on YouTube. It didn't really. I mean, it sort of worked. But yeah, unsurprisingly, signal cut out quite a few times.
Can we
people
can
were
we
shouting
just
at
try
me for not wearing
different
a helmet.
activities you do? Can we just like change it? Different activities. So Sean goes on a bike ride. Sean, washes his boots. Sean has a shit. Just different
so
every
do
week.
different daily activities. Yeah,
See if it works. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll watch that.
not the shit
Yeah.
one, obviously.
I'll watch it.
He would
Just
watch
be
it.
me.
Certainly.
Yeah, because everyone would be like, Sean has a shit. Why is it half an hour long? What's wrong?
And then they watch it and go, oh.
Then
Oh, that's
for
why.
like 20 minutes. They're not listening. Like, no, he's still
still-
pooing.
It's still coming
fair
out.
enough. That's just,
It's like a fucking
maybe his
Coke
wife
can.
should stop having a go at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, yeah, if we do a stream in a week and they're unconfirmed, then go to twitch.tv/TCGSCO or search TCGS in the app. If you miss one live, search TCGS on YouTube. You can find our channel there. We're on Patreon, which is patreon.com/TCGS for our monthly bonus podcast, for our talk servers, whatever we're doing. Still to plan what we're doing now. It is July. The website is tcgs.co for everything else, our store, our socials, our podcasts, and I think that's probably about it.
Oh man, for a moment then I was thinking I'm going to sign off by saying go out and vote. July 4th, go out and vote. But then,
Can't vote, guys.
oh god, I hate it when people do. I fucking hate it. And the fact that I had that thought, it just makes me hate myself. Oh, I wasn't going to vote, but did you hear? Dave Turner's on the computer game show said that I should go and vote. So I've changed my mind now.
Yeah,
actually.
actually, now that I thought about it, it's really important that I go out and represent the Tories. Because that's the thing, isn't it? When you say go out and vote, what you're saying is please
Vote
go and
for
vote
the
for
one
the
that I
person
want.
I don't.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
fine,
yeah,
but
yeah.
say that.
Say it. Yeah. Yeah.
But seriously, go out and vote.
Right. We need a code. If you see a video games journalist tell you to go out and vote, reply with like, "What do you think of Gears of War?" No, because that's like that might have some sort of like a real innocuous game. What are your thoughts on
Stardew Valley?
Will Star Wars Outlaws be better than Star Wars Jedi Survivor? Yeah, if you see a video games journalist say that, then
I mean,
please
we know the answer
reply
is yes. So
with that. God. Thank you for living it. We will catch you next week. James won't be here again.
no.
He says he's
so
going to
we'll see
fix
what
it, Dave.
happens. Oh, did
Fix
he?
what? He doesn't know what to fix.
Said he's going to fix the thing that he hasn't really diagnosed.
No, but I think we're forgetting, like, one, the lighting, he could maybe change that. Two, the fact audio went from nothing to 1,000. Like, he can't fix the fact that his laptop is so loud. I thought it was a fan going on.
That was going to be a
That cannot be fixed. So
unless you just get a much longer USB cable and he podcasts from like the other
My
side of the
favourite
room.
thing was
buys
that
another
he kept
laptop.
saying- My favourite thing was that he kept saying it's fine, and not understanding that it's not fine
It's
for the
not
person
fine,
that needs to
yeah.
edit the show.
Yeah.
It's not fine, James. We will catch you next week. See you later, everybody. Love you. Good boy.
Ta-ra.
Bye.